I think this stream is going to be special. And for the special occasion, I think I'm going to leave it up. But we gotta hit those likes, baby. We gotta hit those likes. We gotta get over 200 likes by the end of this stream. I think we can do that. We did it on the last one. I think we can do it this time around. And the stream will stay public as we dive into the unfortunate events of Mr. Rekieta. His Frank's motion was denied. And everybody, well, every smart lawyer in Lawtube, they have been vindicated. Because we had individuals like Rekieta, Robert Barnes, just talking down and saying they knew nothing about the legal analysis, that their legal analysis was wrong. Whoever came out wrong in this should never practice law again, or whatever, and analyze law again. Don't know, it was one or the other. And well, Nick has kind of been radio silent, or so we thought, because it turns out he actually did speak. Okay, Balldo man came out of his bunker and he said something, albeit not very smart, and kind of just, okay, well, we'll just see what he's doing here. Yeah, we got a good old, let me move that over here. Second chat. There's a little display going here. And we got here, Rekieta 10 hours ago, chat. 10 hours ago, he shows signs of life. Okay, there were people that actually thought this guy offed himself. Okay, they were like, this guy is not talking, he's radio silent. You know, Barnes is quiet, Viva Frey is fucking quiet. But Rekieta, that one, he's been very quiet. Okay, no streams either. There's no streams, there was no gloating. The locals thing, barely, well, to be fair, I barely saw anything from the locals. I saw a couple people saying that they needed to go ahead and make a new a stream for this, okay? And I don't really blame them. But here we have Dick Masterson. You know Dick Masterson, okay? Juju the cow, a good friend, okay? Talking about veto and liberals and culture war grifters. And here's an account. This seems like a low follower account, you know? Just comments on this. In a former life, did you used to date her or something? Also, I've unsubbed from all of the griftosphere. My YouTube page has never been better. And this is why Rekieta comes out of his bunker to talk about this for some reason. I have no idea why. But he came out and he talked about this and he says, in my best Rekieta voice,
but how did you know that the next Star Wars movie will sink Disney due to the wokeness?
So Rekieta coming out of the bunker, the Balldo bunker, just to say this, and person that never misses the chance to report on all things Balldo, breaking Balldo news, documenting Minnesota's most myopic? I'm sorry, I don't do English very well. I'm French. Myopic, non-practicing lawyer. So we got this nice little thing over here. A nice little edit. I believe Elissa originally made this edit. Oh, and shout out to her. She's been posting some interesting. We'll be looking at this. We'll look at this, Rekieta's uphill battle and being a friend. We'll look at this. We'll look at Sean. Sean had a great stream the other night. He had a great edit. We're going to be looking at that too. Amazing edit. You know the one. And then we got Lawtube discussing Nick Rekieta's Frank's motion. We'll be looking at the Balldo segment from Matt at the Internet as well. Just a lot of good stuff to go over, okay? There's Aaron Imholte as well, made a couple of statements regarding this. We will most likely look at that too. I feel like we've been neglecting Aaron's point of view, chat. How do you, in chat, feel about Aaron Imholte, personally? Now, I know little to nothing about Aaron. There was rumblings that he beat his wife. I'm not sure how accurate that is. Play the slug meme for good measure. GG Evans, thank you for the 5. Maybe we'll we might do that. I don't know much about Aaron other than apparently he beat the shit out of April, or there was domestic abuse talks. Don't know much more about Aaron. Not a lot of people seem to like him, though. I don't think they dislike him as much as they dislike Nick, but they don't like Aaron either. Okay, they don't think Aaron is the good party here. Nick said I would be surprised by the omnibus. When does the surprise come? Oh, it's coming, Uncivil Law. Don't you worry, okay? We all know Nick never disappoints, all right? Never. He would never disappoint. Is it bad that I really want this guy to fire up a stream and go off? Like, is that bad? Is that bad of me? Okay, I think it's kind of bad. I think I'm going to hell, but whatever. Till then. But back to Aaron. I don't know, Chad. How do you feel about Aaron Imholte personally? You know, I still think that it's worth getting his point of view on the thing. You know, sometimes I see people in my chat saying steel toe W and stuff of that sort, and I just don't know how to react. Chat. I don't know if I should be rooting for Aaron here. I don't know if I should be talking about Aaron here. Well, that's all I know. And what I know as well is I want to see this, because the reaction from the Law Pope is actually kind of funny. So here we have the omnibus hearing. I think people will be surprised by the outcome because they have really bad legal analysis coming in from the Kiwifarms law couch. Now, I don't think a lot of people were surprised. I don't know about you, but I don't think a lot of people were surprised by this outcome. I think Nick was surprised. Okay, I don't know. I don't understand what he means by the Kiwifarms law couch. I guess he's trying to take a dig at well, obviously Kiwifarms and anybody that I guess cites them. I don't know. You know what the craziest thing about this is? Again, and I say this frequently as somebody that knew Rekieta from his Wii Wars days, right? Where he finally hit the 100K threshold, because before then he did not have it. It's very strange, the 180 he's pulled. He goes to excessively demeaning Kiwifarms, trying to just smear them as pedophiles as well, which is an odd choice, and just about everything he can, just discredit them at every turn. But the demeanor, this was so different in Wii Wars. It was the exact opposite. Hell, Nick would call other people pedos, you know, to defend Kiwifarms or something, right? I do remember him just throwing that out there, trying to imply people were that. He would just suck the cock at a Kiwifarms, okay? And just to have him go from that to this is just strange. Now, what could have fucking changed? What could have changed? What could have changed in having Nick call Kiwifarms one of the most credible sources, even so much as going as far as to have his redneck lawyer friend Tybeard do use the Kiwifarms for Vic Mignogna's case. Rest in peace, Vic. I'm sorry, your case didn't go, you know, as well as it should have. Maybe Nick could have gotten a better lawyer, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it was because they were starting to tell the truth about Nick. Nick didn't like it. Nick didn't like it at all. Just like he didn't like this. But we're going to play it just for fun, because I think this meme is chef's kiss, personally.
No, 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 no.
Beautiful, beautiful, very chef's kiss here. The defendant's motion to schedule an evidentiary, I can't do words, man, hearing this is why you watch this is why you watch the professionals on Lawtube. You have Sean, Andrew, and Uncivil Law. You get those people, Nate the lawyer, to pronounce this properly. I'm just a shit talker, bro. Okay, I'm just here to have a good time with everybody. Okay, challenge is denied. The defendant's motion to suppress the firearms ammunition is denied. All other omnibus issues not argued with particularly or otherwise specifically identified to the court as a contested issue as the omnibus hearing, whether included in the written notice or not, are denied. That's a lot of denieds. Okay? Now, if I'm Nick and I'm seeing all these denials, I'm mad. I am seething. All right? I mean, I'm surprised he's keeping it together so well, given the circumstances. Then, gee fucking Christ, Jesus, that's quite the ratio there. That's quite the lack of support. 5 whole likes on a tweet from Nick Rekieta. That is ouch. That is not something you normally saw back in the days. So Nick Rekieta replies to this, and he says, in my best Nick impression,
Nice work selectively cropping that to remove the fact that I was not talking about my omnibus hearing.
okay. I mean, if he says so, I'm not very sure if I should. The problem with Nick here is, I was having this discussion earlier with somebody. It seems like one of the majority of the problems seem to be that it's not maybe fully that he's an incompetent lawyer. You know, and maybe it's not even so much like the excessive cocaine use. Some people don't even care that his children or his child had cocaine on them in their system. Like Melanie Mack doesn't care. Camelot seems to not really care that much since he doesn't, you know, he what was this chat? Like about a month ago? What was his title for a stream? Rekieta Law wins! What did he win, Camelot? please, we're waiting. What did he win, Camelot? I'm wondering, where's the second Camelot stream? Why isn't Camelot firing up the second Rekieta Law 1 stream chat? Where is that? I need it in my life. I need to see Camelot tell us all how Nick Rekieta won and he beat the A-Logs. I need it in my life, Camelot. Please. Please. It's so bad, chat. I am practically begging anybody that's on Team Nick. Okay, I don't even care if it's that Vito lookalike onion guy. I want somebody to say and cope and say Nick is winning and say that Nick will provide. I need it. I need that delicious cope. Okay, I just need it. I know I'm going to fucking hell, but until then, like, Jesus, I fucking need it. I need it like Nick's nose needs the coke, ladies and gentlemen. But Breaking Balldo News replied, and this is the snazzy edit I was talking about by Lawtube Sean. Now, Sean, this is a good fucking lawyer. I like this guy. He's a very funny guy. He's very good at what he does. Personally, I think Rekieta fell so that Sean could rise. Ladies and gentlemen, Rekieta fell so Sean could rise. I think it's great. I like it. I believe he made this too. This is fucking amazing. I'm going to play this for you, and you guys are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. But shout out to everybody in chat right now. Chat's moving rather fucking fast. I've heard that that's a very good sign. So again, W in my book. You know, we made it, chat. We made it, pal. All right. Are you guys ready to see this funny edit from Potentially Criminal? Oh, I see Potentially Criminal in chat as well. Your poll is invalid since my name isn't an option. You're right. I'm so sorry, Sean. I completely forgot. It must have slipped my mind. I mean, I gotta give the attention to the three best, right? The best of the best, right? And let me check on this poll real quick, actually. We got a whopping 200 plus of you guys taking this poll right now, with 52% of the poll. Rekieta Law is winning, chat. Rekieta Law, first place. Balldo W, as per usual. 43% of the vote, we got Robert Barnes. Okay, Robert Barnes, second best law attorney out there on Lawtube. Never gets anything wrong. The best legal I'm sorry, I'm tripping up my words. Hold on, I'm trying to be a better bullshitter. The best legal analysis thus far. Nobody can compare. And Viva Frey's at 4%, so, you know, he's just a Canadian guy, right? He's just a humble Canadian guy. Lemon Bake, thank you for becoming a member of the Senny Squad. Appreciate that. But it's time to see this really good, fancy edit. Really love it. I think you guys are gonna like it too. Let me lower the volume a little bit so it doesn't break anybody's ears here. Okay, this was made by Potentially Criminal. Let's check it out. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that didn't work out for him. Okay, cool. Sean and Uncivil Law are both retarded on this issue. I mean, yeah, Nick, clearly. I mean, as this tweet didn't age horribly at all. This isn't, you know, there's 100% Spot on, Nikki. Oh, what else? This shows just how much you don't know about the legal issue, and it's maddening because you won't listen to me, and no one else will bother explaining it. Today's, jeez, I can't fuck, dude. I can't. Okay, I get the picture. This guy wouldn't. God, there's a lot of fucking bad tweets. Okay, I withdraw my statement. You were actually just talking about Aaron's case where he received your wife's nudes in a highly suspicious group chat you have repeatedly refused to describe the nature of or define your relationship with Aaron to the detriment of your motion to dismiss. It's funny how you brought up Aaron's supposed unreliability as a witness, then dropped the entire concept in your reply after the prosecution double dared you to elaborate. So that right we have right here. Let me make sure you can see that. Okay. Right now, Aaron should be starting his omnibus hearing. I think people will be surprised by the outcome because they have really bad legal analysis coming from the Kiwifarms law coach. They have been dead to rights and there's a victim in the crime. So let's see here. Order the defendant's motion to schedule an evidentiary hearing pursuant to a Frank's challenge is denied. The defendant's motion to suppress the firearms is denied. All other omni issues not argued with particularity or otherwise specifically identified to the court as a contested issue at the omnibus hearing, yada yada yada, court administration. Has a nice little fucking gif of Nick. You guys remember this was Nick 5 months ago, 6 months ago, you know, something like that. He was on his locals, and he was still malding about Kiwifarms because he really doesn't care, remember? And he told you guys, he said life doesn't work out the way you pretend it does, and I guess now Nick knows firsthand. So that's pretty much the shit talk portion in terms, you know, I leave the expert legalness and the documentation and all that to the professionals. I'm just a shit talker, chat. I'm just the reactionary channel, chat. But man, is it funny. Man, is it fun. And then we got a couple clips that I want to look at from Elissa. So I want to start with Robert Barnes and Rekieta and seeing how this just didn't age properly at all. Okay, this was really bad. Never helped the government. The government doesn't care about the truth. You know, stuff like this. This was actually about 2 months ago, though. The Robert Barnes versus Null and the Kiwifarms. Newsflash, Mr. Moon. This is Nate the lawyer and what is it? Uncivil Law, I believe, right? Yes, it is. And they're talking about the whole thing regarding Nick. Vindication, total vindication. Let's see. Exactly. I remember there was one of... What was it? Shout out to 450 of you in chat, by the way. Shout out to all of you. Appreciate you guys being around. If you're new and you just got here, please do leave a like and share the stream. It really does help me out. And we are 100% leaving the stream up. We could go back and see some of this shit, but you know what? How about we start with something current? All right, let's see. You know what? I like Sean. Sean's a very entertaining guy. Let's see what he's got to say. Because this is something that also came up. I actually covered this, I believe, in my video. It was yesterday. Yeah, I believe it was yesterday's video. Basically, Nick tried to intimidate Sean with shower texts.
Sorry. No, it's not a shower call.
Text, etc. So Sean went ahead and said that Nick holds no power over him. However, Nick was acting as if he did. And he was trying to presumably intimidate Sean. Something about the Montegraph case, I believe. But let's just let the man speak for himself. And let's see. Rekieta Law versus potentially criminal. The shower calls responding to Montegraph. And this is from September 24th, 2024.
All right. No, it's not a shower call. Oh, and by the way, I think we should address this real quick, by the way. Shower calls. Nick, I know you seem to think that the fact I came to you and was like, I was a little worried initially when Montegraph threatened to come after me because, I made that claim that he had made a stuff film and he hadn't. And as I stated here, I came out here and told everybody in the world I was wrong, and Montygraph hadn't done that. You know, I came to you and said, hey, man, number one, I'm going to apologize to Montygraph because I feel like I need to do it. Number one, I think I was wrong. Number two, I'm going to give you a heads up because I don't want to feel like I'm sandbagging your case at all. I'm trying to be nice. Now, using all that, I'm not sure what you think that gives you to hold over me, the fact that I'm willing to admit I was wrong on something, but you know what? I'm just going to, you know, I once again, I know you think you're loading up a bombshell full of the finest RDX, but it's, once again, more mouse farts. So I'm just going to walk up to it and, like, just turn it off. So there we go.
No, Sean, you don't understand, Sean. God, I really, dude, oh my God, I want Nick to make a stream or a video or try to do anything, bro. It's gonna be, it's fucking delicious. Like, oh my God, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great if he tries. Like, I'm actually hoping, like, to be honest, he tries. You remember when he tried to get that, that dunk on Null? So he basically contacted Null, started having a conversation with him, right? For whatever reason, Nick was like pursuing Null as per usual. Null responded, didn't really make him look bad at all. And the first thing Nick does, he goes like boots up a fucking stream, gets all these fucking messages. He's like, look, I got that Josh Moon now. Look, chat, we got him. It's like, oh shit, Nick won. And it turns out like, it's like none of that made Josh look bad at all. But like anybody that was drinking the Kool-Aid for Rekieta back then, they were like, yeah, Nick, you totally got him, dog. Good job. That didn't end very well. Because I feel like this is just like a deja vu moment where Nick's like, I got you, Sean. You're going down, Sean. We're taking you to Denny's and blah, blah, blah. Whatever the fuck he says. Same fucking regurgitated joke like 20 times. Okay. God, Nick, please fucking try to run with anything you do is just fucking just do it, okay? You can own the A logs, okay? You can own all of Lawtube if you do this, Nick. All right? There's no doubt in my mind. Oh, and grab a drink while you're at it. You sure as hell earned it, man. 100% the best lawyer from Minnesota. Let's see what else. Sean says that Nick is not going to jail. Go ahead and check this out. And he did this on a stream, September 24th, right? Yeah, this is the latest one. I stopped in chat briefly. So let's see what this is about.
Uncle Andy says Rekieta is going to prison, LOL. See, he's not. And I know a lot of people think that's funny, like, oh, Nick going to prison and yeah, getting like pounded out by a bunch of black guys and you know whatever all that. He's not going to go. And number one, that's the reality of it. But number two, like, prison's not fun. It's not funny.
Oh no, there are a lot of people that would want him to go simply for the fact, and I actually kind of pulled this up just for this. He did this weird thing and the Dear John thing. Now I got like a couple mixed reports on this, and we originally covered this a while ago. This was when, oh Jesus, when it was 7 months ago. So he actually did this thing where he was drunk. As you can see, there's a whiskey bottle in his hand. And he went out for about 30 minutes about how this Kiwi farmer should off themselves, basically. Now, keep in mind, Nick knows that this Kiwi farmer, thought highly of him, had like, issues or whatever, mental of that sort or something. Or so Nick says, apparently. And he's basically goading this guy on to like self-delete for about 30 minutes or whatever. I believe this was because he criticized them on the forum like once. And Nick just went off for 30 minutes. So just to get like an example of why people would want Nick to get pounded by like 10 black guys and shit, it's pretty much probably because of things like this. Like Nick is not the... Nick is kind of malicious, you know? Just a little bit, you know? And besides the fact that he like, calls people pedos and, he implies the worst thing and he's just a fucking... just dishonest, bad fate, scumbag. Like, well, what is the latest thing that he tried to do with Josh after he failed with the text messages and expose or quote unquote exposing Josh, right? After he failed with that, what did he move on to? Oh, actually, Josh like Shotokan. He like, wait, hold on, I got to do this in my best Rekieta impression.
Josh like Shotokan. He likes little boys.
That's what he moved on to next. I shit you not. He did this. What's his other thing? Oh,
Sean is fat.
okay. Thank you, Nick.
Kiwifarms harbors pedophiles, even though that pedophile was a member of my locals chat and regularly gave me money.
Thank you, Nick. Amazing. So it's like I understand it. I appreciate you being a professional and for still having a layer of empathy for this guy. But I think, like, you know, again, I am a shit talker. You know, I'm not a professional or anything. You know, and there are people out there that obviously just look at him and they see the kind of behavior that he's exhibited for, man, it's been years at this point, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And then there's some people that just, well, they're not fans of the cocaine on the children. They're not fans of Nick having, you know, bad substances around the household, the whole polygamy shit, having sex with strangers while their kids are in this, you know, in the other, they're not a fan of that. So if there's anybody that has like this malice towards Nick, or anybody that feels, you know, like, you know, let's just let him go to prison or something, it's probably because of all this shit. You reap what you sow. Whatever you throw into you know, karma, right? Whatever you throw out there into the world, you get back tenfold. But I do appreciate him being a professional about this entire thing, continuing to have empathy for Nick, despite Nick just being nothing but just bad faith to this guy, really, just being a general fucking asshole and a dick to the very end. Okay, and that's I think that's been one of Rekieta's main issues here as well. The narcissism really takes over. Nick never wants to admit when he was wrong. He'll double down, he'll triple down, he'll talk all this shit. But if somebody legitimately makes, you know, a mistake, like, for example, Sean here, he'll own up to it. He'll take it, he'll retract it, make an apology, a short one. You know, that's the difference. We got normal Chad, human being, professional lawyer. Then we got Nick Rekieta, narcissistic dipshit. So, again, appreciate the professionalism, all right? From what I saw, I don't think Nick wants to take this to trial because then prison would be an option. The appeal, I don't think, would work, so he would have to, I think, do a plea deal, which that's going to be a major blow to his ego. Now, again, I'm not a legal professional or anything. This is just what I've seen and thought of in my head. Like, if he goes to trial, then jail is a possibility, correct, if he loses. If he goes to, if he tries the appeal, probably won't work. And if he does the plea deal, you know, then what happens if he does the plea deal? Well, he's going to have to do what he said he was never going to do, and that's bend over to the government. That was his entire angle for the longest time. All right, I'm not bending over.
I'm not bending over to the government. It's me and Robert Barnes versus the government.
And that didn't end up very well. So, let's see what Sean, continuing on, has to say about Rekieta not going to jail.
You know, I don't think he deserves to go to prison. Prison's a really fucked up place. And on top of that, just, you know, we have enough people in prison as is. You know, as I said before multiple times, as a judge explained to me, people go to prison because we fear them. It shouldn't be because we hate them. Has Nick pissed off the state enough of his words to not get a plea? No, he's still going to get a plea. Number one, the state, yeah, they can go to trial, but it's a waste of fucking time. I had a prosecutor once come to me and said, look, I'm making you a really good deal. He's like, I've got 2 murder cases coming up. I don't have time for your guys' dumb shit. Here's a deal. Will he take it? And I went and talked to my guy, and my guy's like, hell yeah, we'll take it. So in this case, I'm like, I don't think they want to deal with it. It's going to be a fucking clown show. Nick's going to be there. He's probably going to want to take the stand at some point. You're going to have Aaron come in. It's going to be a circus. I mean, they don't want to have to deal with it. You know, they're going to have Ralph, and they're going to have some fat retard like me in there too. No, they don't want any of this nonsense. No, they're going to offer a plea anyway, but I would argue probably because without knowing Kristen Pierce and them, I presume they act ethically. And that, you know, they should be seeking to resolve matters. And is there a way we can resolve this? Would he be willing to plea out and get into some treatment and diversion and work on himself? That's ultimately what the system wants, is rehabilitation of people.
Do you guys think, chat? Do you think Nick can rehabilitate himself? The last time we caught up with Rekieta, or about a week ago on his locals, he did a brief stream. This was after his disaster stream lasted like 15 minutes. Couldn't get Rumble to work, couldn't get YouTube to work, so he had to go on locals and finish up there. It almost seemed like he was talking very narcissistic about being in the program and stuff around other addicts. Like he was a little above it all. Right? Like he didn't need to be there. He was with the plebeians and stuff. And this is the great Nick Rekieta. He's above this. Okay, he's not actually an addict. All right, he's good. He's good, but he's around these people. He didn't like it. Do you think? Give me a 1 in chat if you think Nick will be revitalized, rehabilitated. Okay, good to go. Give me a 2 if you don't think there's a chance in hell that Rekieta will be rehabilitated at all. So remember, 1 for healthy optimism. Rekieta will become rehabilitated. Give me a 2 if there's not a chance in hell, chat.
Well, then let's rehabilitate him. So no, I presume they're not pieces of shit, and I assume they're going to try to work with Nick on something. I mean, there are some prosecutors that say, if you file these motions, I'm withdrawing deals. I don't think so in this case. I'm betting there's still a deal available. And yeah, I know some of you guys wouldn't do it, but it's how would you treat anybody else? That's how you have to be. Everybody should be treated fairly and equally. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says, Nick goes to trial, Nick will lose. Please do it. No, I don't want to see him go to trial. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him go to trial.
See, this guy, man, is, he's a better person than man, you're a more empathetic person than me, man. I don't know, man. I do have a question on that real quick, because somebody actually asked me as well. If Nick does go to trial, would it be possible for Null to finally get the body cam footage he's been wanting all this time, right? Because you guys remember, because somebody asked me if the body cam footage is available and stuff, and will it be available? And they asked me if it goes to trial, will Josh be able to get his body cam footage that he's been trying to get? I'm not really sure about that, actually. I want to pose that question. There are a couple professionals in the chat right now. So I would ask that question to you. Sean is a nice guy. He is a very nice guy. Appreciate that. We got a lot of 2s. I know that there's not a lot of people that believe in Rekieta, by the way. Like, I believe number 2 was like, there's not a chance in hell that Rekieta will rehabilitate. And then there was a 1 where it's like, yeah, you got a little bit of healthy optimism there. But yeah, I concur. There will be, or Sean rather, is a very nice guy. He is, okay? Nick was very fortunate to have him as a friend. First, I had no idea why you would treat your friend like shit. Personally, berate him constantly. But hey, what do I know? I guess I'm just not a good friend. I'm not as good of a friend as Nick. Uncivil Law says the body cam footage should come out at the latest once there is a plea or a conviction. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Sean loves to receive hugs. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I did not know much about Lawtube up until I started covering Nick. Really, okay. But yeah, it seems like there's some good characters out there, but there seems like there's some bad characters out there. Okay, I'm glad that I've been exposed to the good ones too. Okay, just yeah, a lot of empathy coming from Sean. Really, truly acting like nothing but a professional. And again, man, it's just crazy seeing the compare and contrast between these people. Between, like, you get somebody like Sean, you get somebody like Nick. Differences like night and day. It's fucking insane to me.
That would no. Like I said, I don't necessarily like. Yes, there's lulls to be had, but watching somebody jump off a cliff is not necessarily my idea of fun. If I don't have to watch it, and it doesn't have to happen. It's over. It's
what's crazy. Another thing. This is how a real man of ethics act, or very put together, very professional. Okay, do you want to see the exact opposite? Do you want to really do the compare and contrast? Okay, we could do the compare and contrast. Let's compare and contrast, okay? Let's see Nick showing empathy.
YouTuber who paid $5 a month, who literally said, I'll give you your membership for free. I don't need you to give me $5 a month. Dude, take that $5 and buy a goddamn cab and go to Maryland or whatever. Go away. Like, go find anyone to care about you other than me, because I'm a million miles away and I have thousands of social media messages. Yet here I am. Please don't kill yourself. Just walk down that road. Just call an ambulance. Just do this one thing. To not fucking noose yourself like Emmett Till if he was self-hating.
Now, like, you're gonna look at this, and the Balldo camp will be like, well, Nick's not being a piece of shit. You know, he's clearly saying don't do it or whatever. Despite him being clearly inebriated, out of his fucking mind, just not being a professional at all. Look at this guy. He's a fucking mess. Lawyer, by the way. This is not... this is not professionalism at all, man. Okay, I know playing up to the camera a little bit, but this is a shit show. This is not even good. This is it's bad. This is just bad. But it gets a little worse as we go a little bit speed run this a little bit, okay? Because this is, again, you gotta keep in mind, this is a 30-minute fucking rant that he had lost his mind over because somebody criticized him.
His ex-girlfriend won't do it. I don't know if he has a girlfriend or an ex-girlfriend. His boyfriend or ex-boyfriend that he met at Super America or whatever, they won't do it. Siblings won't do it. The state won't do it. Teachers won't do it. Priests won't do it. Nobody on earth would save this guy's life, including himself. But he calls YouTuber. The YouTuber spends a bunch of time saying, hey, man, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I know life sucks right now. I know it's hard to connect with your family. I know you're fucking disconnected. I know it's an insurmountable amount of
money. Yeah, I just like... This is real quick, before we get to the part where Nick's trying to get this guy to off himself. Am I the only one that thinks this guy is not, like, right in this entire thing? Like, what's wrong? Like, please tell me, what is wrong with him right now? Like, is this just the alcohol? Or is this, like, are we looking at some kind of substance problem here? Because I don't think he's very right in the head right now. I think this is kind of, well, not only is this unprofessional, not only is this just fucking just a trash fire to look at, really. But yeah, I don't think he's all. I'm not sure if he's coked up. I'm not sure if he's on anything. He's tweaking, but he's just acting very erratic, very strange. Yeah, the mannerisms, pal, kind of all over the place.
Money for you because you don't make any money. Can I help you? How do I get you connected to your family? Like, what is it? What is it? $1,000 bus ticket? Literally offered to buy this guy a bus ticket to the family that disowned him.
And then I also point out that, like, he's divulging a lot of personal information about a person that's not even, like, really, again, just a mild criticism is the most that happened. Nothing terrible. And he just goes on this. It is completely berating this guy, betraying their trust because they criticized the law pope. Again, just Christ, man.
Dude, it's insurmountable for you.
This is going a little.
Offered you a nice thing. Took it or you didn't took it. You'll always frame it as betrayal. You know why? Their failure stems from their inability to take accountability for who they are. Their demand to blame everybody else. So of course they're not going to start blaming themselves when you call them out. I hope you have a good day.
That was amazing projection. I just wanted the king of projection right there. Please do tell.
John, I've always meant this sincerely. I hope you live I hope you find peace, you have solace, you find support, you find a community that will build you up. If it's my community, great. If it's any other community, great. So, John, why don't we come clean to the Kiwi farmers about how pathetic your life is when you judge everybody else's? So pathetic, John. You had to pay $5 a month. I don't know how many blowjobs you gave or mashed potato cups you exchanged.
Ah, there's the Nick we all know and love. There it is. There's the nose. Okay, it didn't take long to get there. And pardon, I'm not like, again, I'm not a very professional at the setup either. There was a little bit of this sprinkled between this 20-minute segment, but of course he's gonna go off now. I believe this is where we hit the sweet spot. But it's always this weird backhandedness from Nick. There's always this passive aggressiveness. There's always like this in between what you would think is praise or like anything positive. There's always that. There's just that backhand ready to hit you and stuff, and that's what Nick really does. And then he's a little mask off moments like this. And let's just watch a little more. It's been a while. It's been about 7 months. But yeah, tell me not. Like, chat, be so for real with me. Like, give me a chat. Give me a chat. No. God. Give me a 1. There you go. Give me a 1. Give me a 1 if this is unprofessional behavior, chat. Give me a 2 if this is professional behavior, like Sean, a potentially criminal, like legal mindset, like uncivil law, like Nate the lawyer. Yeah, okay, remember. Okay, so give me a 1 if this is just completely a trash fire, unprofessional behavior by a supposed lawyer. Give me a 2 if this is professionalism, like all the other lawyers I've just named off.
To get $5, you had to pay $5 a month to get the ability to message me instead of just saying, "Thank you for paying $5 a month. This is Rekieta Law." Engage in your interaction or whatever. I just said, "Hey, I heard about what you're going through. Like, if you need any help, let me know, because I don't want you to die." Right, John? Never wanted you to die. The one person on this earth who never wanted you to die. But you know what you did, John? You engaged in lies. Specifically, you know why? Because you couldn't afford friends. So you had to buy them with fake clout. I don't know what southwest state you're in.
Just two observations here, okay? Really quick.
Nick has been a gross degenerate since 2019. None of this is actually new. No one was watching his non-law streams.
Stop Moz B, thank you for the 5. Yeah, there were some people that caught on very early on, I see. And there's some people that just, I guess some people still wanted to give this guy some goodwill or something, or I don't know. I mean, I think Nick's problem too is I had this conversation as well with some of my special counsel. I think like the main problem with this guy is he just, aside from all the other antics and even like the degeneracy or whatever, it really is that he's just a fucking snake. Like he doesn't. I'll give you an example for this, okay? He feels like he got double-crossed by a guy that criticized him mildly. And now he's going scorched earth. He's revealing personal secrets of this person who's not a public figure. He's not a YouTuber, He's none of that. He's just the guy that Nick has a lot of personal information about, that he trusted Nick with, and that Nick willingly took that. And now he's kind of breaking that privacy for some reason, all because he feels like he got slighted. Again, this is like the extremes here. All the while he's trying to paint himself as a martyr, as a good guy, and then he's just going to throw all this dirty laundry over here. And the second thing that hits me here is he calls it lies again. And like the only issue I have, well, it's like the main issue I have is that
Then shut the fuck up for a second, okay?
Kiwifarms was right the entire time.
Are boomers of his age acting exactly the same, minus the drugs, but they go on and on and on about people that slightly criticize them and hold an eternal grudge like old jealous grannies.
Musashi, thank you for the 10. I've heard a little bit about Comicsgate. Never that much. Never got invested in it. I know Comicsgate came before Weeb Wars. I do know that, but I do know that there's still things going on in that section, that sector thing. But thank you for the insight. But yeah, continuing on, it's like Kiwifarms was never really wrong, were they, regarding Nick? I mean, when they said he was a swinger, we ended up being a swinger, right? He was. When he said, or they said that Lady Rackets was a whore, turned out Lady Rackets was a whore, right? It's like I fail to see one thing they've lied about, really. I have not seen anything. In fact, I've seen you lie over and over and over and over again, and I think that's the problem. You lie so much, it's not even just one lie, it's not two lies, it's not three lies. You can count them on multiple hands. You lose the trust of the people, right? And people actually looked at you as some super lawyer, you know? That as parasocial as that might seem to you, Nick. I mean, people actually took your word as law, no pun intended, because you presented yourself as a credible lawyer at first, a family man, upstanding Christian father, and then you just completely broke that illusion. I heard that you were actually coming out and saying that this was all a farce and that you're happy now that you get to be more degenerate and stuff. Like you could have done the degeneracy minus the lying. I think that the lying really is what takes a bigger blow on somebody, simply because, again, there's no way anybody can give you the benefit of the doubt if you just continuously lie on a daily basis. And I think Null actually said this. Null said that he thinks that Rekieta is just a pathological liar, which would mean he just lies on a whim, like he lies about things he doesn't need to lie about. I kind of believe it at this point. I do. So the story of Rekieta, the liar. Let's see what else he says to John. There's only 6 minutes left in this.
Anymore, John. I just know you're still there because you can't afford even a taxi cab to the grocery store. And yet here you are. Moral condemnation on other people based on falsehoods, but also based in part, according to you, on your moral and ethical and personal superiority to those people. Well, you couldn't keep a family, couldn't keep a job, couldn't keep a government check, could not keep yourself from putting a gun that you couldn't afford with bullets that you borrowed in your mouth until a streamer told you, hey, John, maybe you should just go to the hospital. And what you didn't respond, John, was take the person who saved your life, demand.
Oh my God, is this guy tweaking? What's fucking going on, bro? What is he even doing? Like, this is not simple alcohol, my man. Like, what is, what's going on? What's going on? It's just not good. Internet conservatives and Christians are weird. I feel like those on YouTube are projecting they're something they aren't. I mean, you shall know them by their fruit. He is tweaking, right? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, shout out Belinda in chat, by the way. Belinda, you know, if you want to hand out some hats to the loyal viewers, now's the chance, my friend. Now is the chance. But yeah, I mean, I again, like, if anybody just tuned in or whatever, number one, please send a like, it really helps out. Stream will be staying up. The reason I'm playing this though in particular is because some people were trying to say like Nick does like, well, why is everybody being so mean to Nick, essentially? Okay, and I guess they haven't been caught up to speed because either, and that's why I also praise the fuck out of this fucking woman, bro. Like this woman is a fucking queen. All right, if it wasn't for this, no, like seriously, if it wasn't for this, for Elissa clips, we would never have all of this stuff on this guy, right? We would never be able to catch him in all these lies. You know, this woman is really, man, she is a walking W. She has to stand Nick's boringness because he doesn't even bring, that's the thing with Nick, there's no entertainment value, and there's no, unless he's fucking making an ass of himself, and there's no real professionalism out of this, so you kind of like, what do you really get? Either way, to get these little gems, right, where we catch him in lies, this woman, man, shout out to her. All right, very, very, very good. I really appreciate Elissa being around here. But the thing is, like, he's such a piece of shit. And these are just one examples of him just being an absolute piece of shit. So a lot of people are like, well, they're just fed up with him. They don't care. Like, a narcissistic liar that preys on the misery of other people. And most people are just like, I don't care if he goes to jail. Like, what the fuck? You reap what you sow, man. Like, how, again, it just kind of comes back to karma. All right. And I want to show you, like, the real Nick, if anything, right? The character of the man that, if there's anybody out there that are still feeling sympathetic towards this guy, this is what he would do to you in your time of crisis. If you so much as looked at him the wrong way.
Handed you to save your own life. To say all of the lies about that person without ever even having the decency to say, hey, is this true or not? That's what you did.
Hey, 07's in chat.
Someone
Thank
who'd
you,
save your
Belinda.
life.
Appreciate that. Giving out some hats. Appreciate it.
For internet clout from Kiwis are probably just like you.
So there it is. There's the shot of Kiwifarms again. From Kiwis that are just like you. Okay, so there you go again. And he doesn't even stick to one person. He has to administer this all around. All around. And again, this is like, dude, the 180. The 180. Nick was never, in 2019, 2016, never was he saying this, ever. Complete 180.
They're just like you because they cannot do anything. But enjoy the company, John. One person kept you from eating a bullet you would have had to borrow from a homeless. One group of people would have laughed when you died if they found out. Cheers for picking the right side on that one. Now, take John's story and apply it to the majority of Kiwis.
Here we go.
You'll
Here we
figure
go
out
again.
nobody cares what they think. I hope you have a nice night. I hope there are no Johns in your life who demand you to save them from the fucking world that they can't navigate and then ask a fucking can of beans to kill them just for acceptance. John, that's embarrassing. But go be British. Cheers to you all. Cheers to John specifically. Cheers to the Kiwifarms. Cheers to Josh Moon, the most autistic person on earth with zero human interactive experience, telling everybody on earth how humans interact. Piss people off. Most importantly, piss a John off in your life so much that he wants to take a discount razor that he can't afford and chop it to his wrist.
Jesus.
Because the government
Christ.
gave him a Section 8 razor. He's like, I'm going to kill myself. And I'm like, you, John, this is how fucking pathetic you are. All you had to do today was suck dick for $20. Anywhere
Professional lawyer over here, by the way.
in a metro area. You couldn't do that. Instead, you went out to a rural area.
Dude, I'm not like, look, man. I'm not even trying to moral police or just, moral whatever, F-slur, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, there even comes a point, right? Where it's like, come on, dude. Like, you go a little, it's like, pull it back. Okay, pull it back. Like, number one, you're supposed to be a professional here. Okay? Pull it back. Jesus fucking Christ. Not only is this like, it's just bad, okay? It's just bad. Stop it. Stop it. Just fucking stop it. Katie, thank you for the 5 memberships. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Just pull it back. Because again, this is like, remember, like the other point that I said, guys, I want to play this for you after we saw Sean and how, he showed empathy, right? That's the thing. Like, Sean was like, I don't want Nick to go to jail, right? It's going to be bad for him, right? Stuff like that. It's like very empathetic person, very professional. Nick is fucking tweaking right here. Or is it like, the compare and contrast? He's fucking tweaking. He's fucking drunk as shit. right? I don't know what he's trying to do here. It seems like he's trying to get somebody to off themselves. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And this is like a, I don't know, man. It's just like, even for me, who doesn't like to really do moral arguments and stuff, and I just think he needs to pull it back, right? It's a little like, when I'm saying pull it back, bro, you know, like you go a little too far. Just calm down, bro. Like, what is this? And again, I don't even have the lawyer title. Okay, I'm not even like coming up. I'm like, hey guys, this is SEN. I'm a lawyer, and I'm a good Christian man. It's like, I'm not even doing that. That's what Nick did for like years. It's like, bro, come on. Like, how did he, in hindsight, not see this and say this is a terrible fucking thing that, you know, like, at the very least, you should fucking apologize for this, right? Like, I apologize for my unprofessionalism last night. It wasn't becoming of a lawyer and yada yada yada. I violated personal, gave out personal information of an individual that's not a public figure. Could have just done that, right? But no, he tripled down on this, and well, finish this up real quick.
Got down on your knees. You couldn't raise $2. You know why? Because your lips look like mine, and mine are manly. It's the weird shit that goes on. The internet is the weirdest fucking place. Normal life, all day, every day. And then someone's like, oh my God, did you see what Ragged said? People are like, what did he say? Like, just go watch the stream. It's not there. Anyway, as for your professional opinion.
No, he's not doing that
I
anymore.
don't want to kill myself, but I want myself to be punished. What is the appropriate punishment for 60% liquor on a lonely, lonely night where my favorite John is still, in my mind, walking down the road to the hospital? Because basically like watching Stephen Hawking walk. If you ever watched Stephen Hawking walk, it was really simple. He didn't. Best part. All of the chats like, this John guy's fucking weird. What was that about? Hey, John. I know you'll watch it. I know you will. And I know you'll sit there and go, I literally begged a YouTube streamer to save my life because I couldn't end my own. John, buddy, you could have just hired an 8-year-old to kill you.
Okay.
But you didn't. You know why? You couldn't afford the 8-year-old.
Jesus fucking
John.
Christ.
Get help, brother. Not for me.
Yeah, this so I think I proved my point. This isn't a guy that's gonna get any empathy from me, right? I think that like maybe this was also I have not yeah, I'm not as good of a person as Sean. I guess that's the main thing, and it's just rackets being rackets, man. But yeah, so that was that. I want to get onto the Mad at the Internet segment though. Okay, I think that's fun. I think getting Josh's insight on this is going to be fun. The Balldo segment, actually. And we're going to go ahead and do that as soon as we get off of this break. 480 of you in chat. Appreciate you. We're going to take a quick break, chat. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Gonna get some Lawtube. Nick, no, Brandon Herrera. I am only a poser for the Second Amendment, and no, I won't teach my kids gun safety. I have a coke habit to support, you know. I wonder if Nick's guns were as dirty as his house. No one has seen Eludes in 30 years. Wow, chat, you're all impressing. 230 likes. Oh, nice. 230 likes on this stream. Well, can we hit that 250 mark? That's what we hit last time. Chat, can we hit the 250 mark? Can we get more than 250? We'll see. We'll see. Stream is most likely going to definitely stay up, though. All right? This one is a special one. We can't not have this stream stay public. Viva is Canadian. He don't count. True. True enough. True enough. All right, it's time. It's time to go over the Mad at the Internet segment. I do want to see Null's take on the situation. So this is apparently regarding April's discovery request. Okay. April's on the news as well. We might as well get Aaron's take on this. If anybody has the Aaron segment. Oh shit. Okay. My mistake, chat. Okay. Apparently there are 2 segments, mad at the internet segments, okay? So there's the actual Frank's motion denied on September 24th, and then we have April's discovery request on September 27th. Okay, so we got 2 mad at the internet segments. Okay, well, this is gonna be nice. Let me close a couple tabs here. And we can get on to this. Okay. Getting for 300. 300. Let's see if we can get that. Viva is the least Canadian looking Canadian. 20 pages behind on the farms, and an omnibus is only humor. Legal Bites is out of touch with having an online presence simply because she can never make a profitable OnlyFans. Legal Bites, that's a name I haven't heard in a while, but I do believe they were relevant in a certain time period before Nick was, the rage twig. When do you guys think Nick had his downfall? Like the most epic downfall that solidified him as the rage twig in you guys' opinions? I'm actually curious about that as well. But here's the mad at the internet segment. Let's see how it went. Let's see what Josh's reaction was to the Frank's motion being denied.
The big news of the stream. Let's start with a soft intro. Actually, I know I have a ham for this. Oh yeah, now we're talking. That's the good stuff right there. That's the Balldo ham. So let's start the Balldo segment with Aaron Imholte just taking a little jab at Rekieta, and then we'll move on.
Oh, is that true? JH says Aaron Chrissy Mayer was blaming you for Nick Rekieta's downfall.
What the fuck?
Me? See, I would have said it was the other way around. Like if I hadn't gotten out of that cyclone of shit, it could have brought me all the way down. Almost did. I would say it's the other way around. He was already a mess when I met him. I mean, high on Molly the night of the show. He licked my face the first night we met. We're at Benton Station. Licks my face.
God.
Like, come on, we're not licking faces. Stop. He did it like 3-4 times. He was a face licker.
I've seen that meme. I didn't know
Don't be
it
a
was
face
real.
licker. Kiki cried.
That's funny. This happened on stream even. I'm pretty sure Rekieta licked his face in the hot tub stream.
What the fuck?
Does anybody else remember that? Is that like a figment of my imagination? Is that like a rogue memory that I've conjured? I'm pretty sure that happened in the stream. So I remember that they were being really gay with each other in the jacuzzi, and you could tell that the women were both really annoyed by this because it was supposed to be like a hot swinging thing, like where they swapped the wives or whatever, and then the guys were like licking each other, and they were both like visibly disgusted by this. Soft update on remember that Rekieta has ongoing family issues, criminal issues, and civil issues. And in the civil case, where he's being sued by Steve Quest, aka Montegraph, for defamation per se, where he accused him of being a has always liked sucking little boy dicks, is I believe the exact statement he used.
What he said.
His civil court judge was Judge Pussylicker, also known as Jennifer Fisher. She was asked to recuse in the criminal case, and by Minnesota state law, you get one free do-over with your criminal court judge. So when they asked her to recuse, she did. She didn't challenge it because he statutorily has one free judge reroll basically per case.
I love the fucking Rekieta thumbs up in the background. Oh my god. Simpler days. This was before Weeb Wars too. This was part of his original dumb little intro that he had. The OG, man. Man, Nick, how did it come to this, man? How did it come to this?
And he believed that it would be a bad idea to let her be the presiding judge. Well, in the civil case, similarly, she has recused, and I believe that this was done sua sponte. She just simply decided that she would like to recuse from this case. And now, Honorable Stephen J. Winsel is the judge in the civil case. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because that's the judge in the criminal case. So I believe that may also be the judge in the family case, but don't quote me on that. So now this guy is officially the state-appointed Balldo handler in all
like
matters,
the
legal,
Balldo handler.
criminal, or civil. Mr. or Honorable Winsel is at the helm, representing Minnesota in these matters. So I don't know what the outcome of that will be. I think there's some reason to speculate that this guy is not on Rekieta's side. Personally, probably thinks that Rekieta's a dickhead. And the reason why I can say that is because of this filing. Let me think about how I want to address this real quick. Give me a second to gather my thoughts.
I have Noel's bad internet doesn't.
So when Rekieta was arrested, the first thing that happens in a Minnesota trial, as far as I'm aware, is that they schedule something called an omnibus hearing. Now, you have, between the point of being indicted and the trial in criminal cases, each state and the federal jurisdictions have their own procedures. And there is a timely way to file certain motions, certain challenges, certain requests before the trial begins. Minnesota has a really big hearing, pretrial hearing, called the omnibus hearing. And unlike in a lot of states, Minnesota gets a lot of stuff done in this one hearing, which is why it's called the omnibus, because it's everything. Basically, everything that you want to file before the trial happens at the omnibus hearing. Everything. If you want to file something, it must be done, it must be heard at the omnibus hearing. That's why we sent a bunch of people to this hearing, because it's a big deal. And a lot of things that would be hashed out and set the pacing of the case would happen at the omnibus hearing. So the Kiwi SEAL Team 6 or whatever arrives at the court, gets hassled by Ethan Ralph, waves
SEAL Team 6. Is that the official name, or did Josh just make that up on the spot? And yeah, if you guys remember, that was the time that Ralph was there. Ralph actually went to Minnesota from Mexico to support his good friend Nick Rekieta. Now, if you guys are wondering, since when are they good friends? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't remember either. The last time I remember Ralph and Rekieta talking was what was it, a while ago? And it had to do with like revenge porn maybe, and they were fighting, and Ralph was just being like just a terrible person. Nick, he's very, very malicious, one would say. And despite this, for some reason, Rekieta welcomes Ethan Ralph with open arms, and they have a nice little, I guess, lunch. They take nice little selfies with each other. Remember, this is Ethan Ralph, okay? That objectively is worse than any Kiwi farmer. All right, let's be honest here. If you don't like a Kiwi farmer, you shouldn't like Ethan Ralph, okay? But despite this, for some reason, Nick will give Ethan Ralph a pass, let him be around his wife, let him be around him, take cute little selfies with him. But those Kiwi farmers, man, they are the scum of the earth, according to Nick. Okay? Ethan Ralph, good to Nick, right? Revenge board distributor, the Fate Vickers situation, etc., etc. The list goes on. But those Kiwi farms, man, those guys suck, according to Nick. But yeah, so Ralph went to support his good friend Rekieta against the Kiwi farms and the A-logs, and yeah, that happened. It was it's an interesting time. Also, yeah, after that, apparently Ralph doxed the fuck out of Aaron and almost or tried to get him killed or something. So that was a thing as well. Very interesting sequence of events. I think I covered them in my videos as well as they were happening. Ralph, stop tweeting out all your fucking desires. That's all I'm gonna say. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're not doing Rekieta any favors. Okay, that's just not good. Even if you delete the docs on Telegram, it's the internet's forever or whatever. They say that because we still have you doing it. Everybody does. So there you go.
Goodbye to him. So on and so forth. That all happens, and it kind of felt underwhelming, and I was a little bit irritated because I assumed that there would be like a continuance and there would be a second omnibus hearing. Because all that happened at the omnibus hearing is that Rekieta asked for a Franks hearing, and a Franks hearing is named after a Supreme Court precedent where it said that if a police officer lies materially to a judge and gets a warrant, and that warrant would not have been granted if that police officer did not lie, then anything that the warrant obtained would be fruit of the poison tree and would be inadmissible in court. So that means the body cam footage, that means the cocaine that they found, that means that the weapons that they found, that means that anything that they found as a result of that warrant would be thrown out, and that's basically as good as dismissing the case, right? So Rekieta said that the cop had lied because he watched the stream of Rekieta fucked up on whatever, on coke and alcohol, on the big, on the Anime Sucks Cope and Sneed stream. The judge, Officer Pomplin, said that that had happened. And Rekieta asked for a Frank's hearing, and he wrote, his attorney wrote, or some people think that he's writing them, but he wrote and said that Pomplin had watched a stream that was archived on fucking Cognificent, the retard, Jobless Johnny, on his internet backyard or whatever, I can't remember what it's called, on his archive channel. And therefore, he lied materially under oath to the judge, and the warrant would not have been granted if he had said that he had watched an archive. And in part because they said that the stream was edited and watermarked. And the reason why he said that is because Cog on YouTube had added a watermark to the channel, and that's a part of the player. That's not a part of the video. So the way that this works is like...
Okay, again, I'm not a legal expert or anything like that. I am a common person, common man, so to speak, right? We're watching this, and I'm just thinking, like, it sounds like Nick was trying to find some weaselly loophole to not allow people to use that footage of him being coked up and he's just drugged up, coked up, whatever, as evidence against him. That's what it sounds like to me, Chad. Am I getting that more or less right? And his play didn't seem to work. Am I getting this right? On the right ballpark here? I think I am, but you can correct me if I'm wrong.
He went to the omnibus hearing. He asked for the Franks and nothing else. Kiwi Team 6 walked away. Felt a little bit underwhelming. Then Rekieta files his first motion in support of the Franks hearing, which outlines all the things I just talked about. The state comes back with a reply, says you're full of shit, you're wrong. It's very clear from the affidavit that he's actually being very truthful, very upfront, that he watched an archive. The words have a clear meaning because they appear multiple times. And Hardin even told me that when he was a prosecuting attorney, the quality of Virginia warrant requests was far below this. So Pomplin was very deliberate and well-spoken in his request for the search warrant, and it served him well in the trial because Rekieta's reply was rejected, and the judge basically said, you know, you're not getting a Franks hearing, which is on its face a kind of a blow, but it was kind of a long shot to begin with. I mean, it's basically a get-out-of-jail-free card. If he can get the search warrant thrown out over this technicality, then he gets all the evidence thrown out as well, and then he's a free man, and there's no issue. Except, his gambit actually backfired horrifically, and I say that because of this.
Oh, no.
Actually.
Why does Josh... I always wanted to take a poll, like, who has worse internet, me or fucking Josh at this point? It's not like... It's not really that big of a deal, but, like, I don't know. Like, I'm always curious. Who has the worst internet, me or Josh? Yeah,
Could have done this during the talking bit, but then I fucked it up. Okay, it's actually... Oh, I'm gonna go crazy. Here it is.
I can see Josh.
So this is the order. You ready?
Josh is also a professional streamer like me.
The defendant's motion to schedule an evidentiary hearing pursuant to Frank's challenge is denied. So he didn't even get to have the hearing that they were going to schedule. The judge says, there's no fucking way I'm going to believe this. There's nothing you can show me to change my mind. It's over. You're denied. Then, the defendant's motion to suppress the firearms and ammunition is denied because he raised some kind of challenge about the, oh God, what is it? The plain view. I talked about this earlier in the stream. He said that was not acceptable under the plain view exception to the scope of the search warrant. Judge says that's bullshit. It's in the fucking house. It's in plain view. What more do you want? or it was in the gun safe or whatever. And then 3, and this is the banger, chat. All other omnibus issues not argued with particularity or otherwise specifically identified to the court as a contested issue at the omnibus hearing, whether included in the written notice or not, are denied, having been waived by the defendant. Now, this was not actually a response to anything in his Frank's hearing motions. This is like a little thing that he's added himself, saying like, we're not having another omnibus. And everybody thought, Bromka from North Dakota and Minnesota, that was one of the Kiwis at the courthouse. Sean thought this. Fucking Hardin thought this. Everybody expected that there would be Omnibus and 2 set out where Rekieta could file a bunch of other bullshit to prolong the case. The judge has said no Omnibus hearing, which means that because if you remember, Rekieta filed all this shit literally like the midnight before the actual omnibus was scheduled. So he hired counsel last second, filed a bunch of shit last second, got the omnibus hearing, raised one thing and one thing only, the Frank's hearing, and then the judge says, like, look, you put this off to the last second to try this long shot. You don't get to go a second bite at it. You don't get to do this again. So now he's fucked. Because anything else that he wanted to raise, and he mentions in the Frank's hearing motions that he wanted to raise a couple other things in passing. I think the judge even says you made a vague reference to something, but you didn't specifically, bring it up, or you expect to bring it up later. That's not happening. That's what he's saying here. And that means that now there's going to be a trial. They have a scheduling conference. That's the next thing that's set up. And they're going to decide the dates of different things. And that's mostly technical, where they say, well, I'm busy that week, because attorneys have multiple clients. So Rekieta's options are now one of 3 things. He can either appeal this, and I am almost guaranteed in saying that he will appeal this, because he doesn't have a choice. If he wants,
real quick though, on that, right, in the situation he's in, it kind of reminded me again, and I kind of touched up on this earlier, because there are some people that were saying that they think that this is karma for the entire Vic situation. Do you guys think that, though? That's what I'm curious about. All right. Do you think that this is all karma for the Vic situation? If any of you guys were in the Vic situation or were around during that time, do you guys think that this was a result of him with the Vic thing? People were also saying how he just it ranged from Nick fucked up, the meme, damn it kid, damn it Nick, we lost the case again, right? There's that meme with Ty. And people were saying that Nick tried and legitimately cared, but then we found out from Aaron how Nick would talk shit about Vic all the time and this and that. And honestly, at this point, it's not even believing Aaron or his word. It's literally does Nick do this to his other friends, quote unquote? Yes, he does. He does this quite often. So it's very easy to tell that yes, he would do this, right? Stuff like that. Do you guys think that this is all a result of the Vic situation and stuff? Because he did refer him to not a good lawyer per se. It was a family friend that he referred Vic to. I had also heard that Ty didn't really have experience. Ty Veer didn't really have experience with this type of shit. So again, some people found that slimy as well. Some people just thought that he straight up conned Vic Mignogna into taking this, and says, "Yeah, Vic, you got this," essentially, and just kind of dropped him when he didn't need him anymore. But what do you think? Give me a 1 in chat if you think this is divine retribution. This is straight up karma for the Vic situation. Or give me a 2 if you think that it's not. So this is a 1 for this being complete karma for the Vic situation. Give me a 2 if you don't think that's the case. Okay. Let's see.
If he's hoping to get this dismissed pre-trial, he must. He has no choice. He not having an omnibus hearing where he raised things that actually succeed is a big detriment to him, because he can't squash any evidence or anything. Anything that was supposed to happen before the trial has been denied preemptively because he didn't raise them. So he's kind of fucked. He kind of has to ask the appellate court to give him a second chance. He's like, well, wait a second. I didn't know that would be denied. I wouldn't have just asked for the Franks hearing then. He has to. He has no choice. So, and that's expensive, by the way. Even with Hardin, appeals and Supreme Court stuff, that's expensive because there's a lot to it, and then you have to pay fees because the fees go up as you get higher into the ranks, and you have to bind things a certain way, and you have to pay printing companies, and those are like their fees they're monopolies, so they can charge whatever the fuck they want. That shit's expensive, so that's probably going to be at least $10,000 for him to appeal this one motion.
This is just like a little side note, but like that's funny because now Nick was trying to flex. Like he went over to Sean and gave him $100 and stuff just to call him just to give him like a fat joke again. And then like he was going on like Nick is for some fucking reason. Okay, I've seen this around. Nick has been going to chats of his enemies, quote unquote enemies, but also like his Balldo guards and just giving them money for some reason. I guess just cucking himself of finances. Now you're kind of hearing that like, well, number one, his super chats aren't really getting that much. He's not getting as much money as before in terms of YouTube revenue and stuff. And I would imagine Rumble isn't doing much better either. Yeah, I heard that he had like a bunch of money before he started out YouTube anyway. But again, you gotta kind of wonder like, how's his finances looking like at this point, right? It can't be like this entire situation, like Noel said, can't be cheap. So what is everything looking like over here?
Motion to the state appellate court. That's a big deal. So he's going to appeal that. He's got his house hasn't his Zillow listing for the second house hasn't sold yet, so he doesn't have that money. He might reduce the price. If any of you are looking for a house in Spicer, Minnesota, keep a lookout on that listing because after the shit when he files his appeal, I have a feeling that house is going to go down by $20,000 on the Zillow listing. Just keep in mind you're going to be living next to Rekieta. So then, aside from the appeal, he either is going to have to take a plea or he's going to have to go to trial. And this is the issue that they have. If he takes a plea, he's guilty. And if he's guilty, then he no longer has a presumption of innocence. And if he no longer has a presumption of innocence, then the government has no reason to release particularities of public record that may meaningfully harm the reputation of a presumed innocent person. Certain records that I have interest in, chat.
Ooh.
If he were to plea out. So
the
he
body
may
cam
not plea
footage?
out specifically because he would not want those specific records to become matters of public record.
The body cam footage, isn't it?
If he goes to trial, then of course he doesn't get a plea deal, which is generally beneficial. I think that it usually goes that it's more expensive and you get a harsher sentence if you fight it out to the bitter fucking end. So he may not get that. But if he goes to trial, then certain matters of public record will enter evidence and then be released as evidence to the public, as all evidence is, usually, including things that I have specific interest in, chat.
Oh, is that the body cam footage too? Okay, so if he takes the plea, Josh wins. If he goes to trial, Josh wins. If he appeals, what is that? I don't know. He has a 50 million trust fund. He'll plead. Let's see here. Bet any angle we think of, he he wouldn't have if he saw the body cam. I think Nick watches everything about himself. He is probably lurking here. Would really love if fucking Nick said something, man. Like, hey, that's the unfortunate thing, man. I have not seen Nick once in my chat. That is very unfortunate. I would love to see the Law Pope grace the chat with his presence, chat. You know you guys want that as well.
Somebody is gonna fucking beat the fuck out of you with some of the stupid shit that you fucking say.
Is CPS involved? Who is representing the children?
Lindsay, thank you for the 2. Is CPS involved? I think, well, Nick got his kids back. I know that. Sort of, right? From what I've heard from the farms, as well as some rumblings here and there, and a couple strains here and there. Now, again, my memory is a little shaky, again, but I believe he got the kids back, and it was because the parents, right? Nick's parents helped them out, I believe, clean everything up and shit. And he can see the kids, and he's with the kids as long as the parents are there, the grandparents. Am I getting that right? I believe that's it. But yeah, it's still not like a good look because there again, like the cocaine was found on one of the children. So again, like you kind of wonder, right? Well, what the hell is that? Then there were the reports of how the kids were malnourished, they weren't getting enough food, they wanted clean clothes and stuff. And Nick just says that none of that is true, and it's all a lie. You won't know the truth. People are making it up, etc., etc. The usual Nick shit. But it did seem pretty bad. It seemed like the people in Nick's own church were the ones that also were like ready to take action on this whole thing. And honestly, again, like just like considering the reputation of Nick, his lifestyle, the way he handles things, just it's not hard to believe the things that have come out and have been said about regarding his children. So a lot of people are kind of trying to hold him accountable for that. Nick tells us there's nothing wrong, that everything is fine, and everybody else is making things up. That is what I remember. Some of his fans are saying that the judges aren't to be trusted. I mean, honestly, that's to be expected, right? Like, again, you gotta understand, if you're in the Balldo bunker still, what are you gonna say? What are you going to say? You have to go back to this angle. You have to go back to, well, you can't trust those people, etc., etc. There's not really another angle you can go.
It's either plead or bleed for Nicky the Nose, and I think he knows which one we want him to pick. Blood for the blood gods, Nicky.
I mean, yeah. Again, like, Gigi, I think me and you are going to hell. I think Huggy was right. You're going to hell, you know that, yeah. And we are. We'll see the nose there. But yeah, like Sean is still, you know, potentially criminal. Is still like hoping that you know, not blood for the blood gods. Like he's a professional to the very end, right? But like, yeah, some people just want blood for the blood gods when it comes to Nick, and honestly, like, as you know, who can really blame them, really? I think like the real victims in this whole thing actually are the kids, but it seems like Nick doesn't even really care that much because his entire thing, like, picture and from my point of view and a couple other people's, he weaponized the kids because he's using them as a way to deny the body cam footage. Essentially what he's saying is that, I can't give you the body cam footage. Only pedophiles want to see the body cam footage. Kiwi farm pedos because of my children. And it's like fucking insane how, like, I mean, I look at that and I'm like, you're clearly weaponizing your kids against this forum of users that just want to see if what you said is true. Because if he comes out with the body cam footage and it turns out that everything is exactly the way Nick said it was, well, then Nick is exonerated, right? Like, Nick, that's a W for Nick. If it doesn't, well, that's another L for Nick, and it shows that once again he's just lying. He lies every fucking time. So Nick, you know, the upstanding citizen, the father of the year, decides to say oh god, I gotta use the Nick impression.
Anybody from the farms that want to see my body cam footage, they're just pedophiles that want to see my children.
Essentially, that's what he's saying. Like, and that just kind of comes off as him just weaponizing the kids. So again, it's like, the fuck are you doing, man? Like, what is this? Like, it's like no professionalism whatsoever. And I believe like no consideration for his family, really. And again, it's like having Ethan Ralph around your family in any way, shape, or form. That kind of, again, that just kind of says a lot. So, let me continue the segment real quick. We're about 15 minutes in. We've got 8 minutes left. So let's see Noel continue on.
So that's where we're at with that. And I really, I mean, Rekieta's position is so fucked, and he's so full of pride. Like a normal person, of course, would simply take the plea, because I have a feeling that he's a first-time offender. He's got kids. He needs the support. It's a no-brainer. To what end does the government have in putting an innocent, or not innocent, but like a normal family man in jail for one fuck up, a non-violent offense, even? None. It costs them money, and you don't pay taxes when you're in jail because you don't make any money. And then you have a bunch of kids that are more reliant on the public systems.
And like, yeah, just real quick, I mean, that was Robert Barnes's like narrative that he was pushing, was he not? Like, Robert Barnes and even Nick to an extent were saying that, like, and it got so bad to the point where even like Nick had to like be like, Robert Barnes is a good guy, but like I don't really fully agree with his government angle, blah 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 blah, something like that. I think even Tug sort of shat on it as well, but like, not like just actively shitting on it. He was just like, and I don't know about Barnes's angle with the government and stuff, because that was the thing. It was like the government's evil and Nick's fighting the government, the evil government that's preying on this innocent Minnesota man or whatever, which again, it just fucking sounds fucking insane. Like, it's like, what Nick? Like, no, I didn't believe that for a second, but I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, I never really bought the government angle. I think a lot of people tuned out of the government angle eventually. Hell, even Nick tuned out of the government angle because he was then just saying, oh, Barnes has good intentions, but not really leaning with this, not really rocking with the government angle after things were going downhill. So
because they don't have a dad that's providing for them, so it doesn't make sense for them to be like, hey, let's put you in jail forever. That doesn't make any sense. They just want you to stop costing them money and being a nuisance. That's it. So yeah, obviously the plea deal would make the most sense, but then if he's guilty, then that opens up Pandora's box, So I don't know. He's kind of fucked. And I don't feel bad for him because everybody told him that he's fucked. And what's really weird is that he's still so arrogant. He hasn't. It's so. I remember. Do you guys remember the special Rekieta stream that I did after he got arrested? I think I had like 2 special Rekieta streams in a row where I did like a full front to back commentary on his Anime Sucks Cope and Sneed chat. Or stream, and then I did like another stream that was immediately after that was mostly just about him being arrested and his arraignment in jail. And I remember I made a prediction. I don't know if it was a prediction. I hesitate to call it that, but I was thinking aloud about what I expected him to do once he got out of jail. I expected that he would sit the 3-day weekend in jail, but he got out with bond, and then with recognizance bond, then he paid the money so he could not do piss tests. And then, funnily enough, and he rewrites history. He paid that money so he wouldn't have to piss test. But then the family court made him do tests anyways without any way out of it as part of the custody stuff. So he has to do the piss test anyways. So he paid all that money for nothing. And he tries to make that out like it was just like, oh, I had no idea that was going to happen. And then when they said you got to go pee-pees in the cup, I was like, oh, of course, I'll do anything to get my children back. He paid so much fucking money to the point where he had to put a mortgage out on his house to get the $100,000 for him and his wife. And then they pee tested him anyways. And I know that's what happened. He can cope and sneeze that it was something else. So I know he paid not to do the test, and then they made him do the test anyways. But I was thinking, as I said, that I was imagining what his first actions would be after he got out. He would get out, and then he would have to stream again. That's his job. So what's he going to do? And I imagined in my head that what he would do is he would come out, and then he would do a coming to Jesus moment, I suppose is what you would say, as PPP would say. He likes to use that phrase.
Coming to Jesus.
And he would say, like, I know I've been fucked up. I know I've let people down. I'm going to work with the state. I'm going to get my kids back. I thought there was a really good chance because I didn't see how there could be any other way to address it. You have to stream to make your money. You have to be popular. You have to have people's respect. People have to want to give you money and respect you. in order for you to make your job doing this avenue. So I saw no possible way.
I'll say this, dude. I am the one thing I am impressed with Nick is that he somehow has still managed to delude people into thinking like, you know, he's not a fucking retard at this point, right? And like even like a couple weeks back or a week or so back, there was some people giving him money and stuff and like, yeah, Nick, you got this, pal. Like I mean, that's either like a small W for Nick for continuing to be able to con a small, you know, do you want to call it a small majority of his audience? Or maybe it's just people that are incredibly fucking, you know, stupid, like glue eaters and shit that are still like behind Nick and thinking that he is actually in the right for this entire situation when he's really fucking not. He's his own worst enemy still to this day, you know. And it doesn't sound financially like things have been going too well for him. So again, like the popularity is just going down. That's true. His super chats, despite, you know, a small majority of people still backing him up, I think they're starting to wake up and smell the roses. Okay, the filthy drug, cocaine, whiskey filled roses. I think that's what's happening, chat.
For him to come back and not do that, and not do the, you know, I've learned a lot type of thing. And I was completely blown away. I remember even saying on the stream though that he may not do that because he's like such an arrogant buffoon. And then, like, his first stream back, he comes back and starts accusing the government of all this fucking conspiracy and naming the specific workers out, saying that they hated him and they had past relations and they had prejudice against him and they lied on their own. Like, all this crazy.
Yeah, Nick was going around it. That actually did happen. And he also named one of them, and he was, like, talking about the cops. I think he even implied or was vaguely implying on other people's streams that, like, the cops planted shit. Which is like fucking insane. It's like, what are you doing? Right? And like to the people that had him on or let him be on to just spill his shit, like I believe Chrissy Meyer was one of them and shit. Kumalot as well, you know, our good friend Camelot over there in the Camel Cast with Zia and shit. And all those, you know, amazing people. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, why would you like that? I don't even want to go with the point of like you guys are enablers, even though you are. Like, it's just what the fuck. Like, why are you not just telling this guy to shut the fuck up or like kicking him out when he does this shit? Like, what are you actually thinking? Like, our good friend Kumalot, okay, let's see what Camelot's doing. It's gonna be a fucking bitch to find his fucking channel. It always is for me. Okay, so Camelot. You know what? Let's just put Camelot. Nick Rekieta. Okay, we'll be able to find him faster like that. Okay, so we got our good friend Camelot over here. As of the last stream he had, the most recent Rekieta stream was a month ago, and it was this lovely gem over here. So Camelot, Rekieta Law 1. Jesus fucking Christ, buddy, how the fuck did that age? And then what else has he been doing since then? So he's just doing his little Resident Evil marathon, channel strikes and roasting people. The drama goes into overdrive. Dr. Disrespect. Jesus. Getting banned on YouTube. The return of Zia. I know there were some gooners in my chat like 2 months ago, like all over Zia. Like, Zia. All right. But no more Rekieta. The last one was a month ago. And Camelot was quick to boot up a stream for that. Rekieta Law 1, pal. Yeah, what did he win, Camelot? What did he win? Please tell the chat what he won. What did he win, chat? So, give me a 1 if you think that Camelot is a professional Balldo guard bootlicker. And give me a 2 if he's just a trusted man that calls it right down the middle. I know that's a trick question. Whatever could it be? Well, I know he's active, like streamed 1 day ago. So, again, I I don't know why he would miss the opportunity to talk about some juicy quote-unquote drama or to give some amazing insight onto his good friend, a buddy, Nick Rekieta. I'm not sure why that could be at all. I don't know, but that's our good friend Kumalot over there. The most unbiased man. One of the good one. One of the Balldo's bravest soldiers, chat. Oh my god, good grief. Good fucking grief. Professional fucking sweeper. We got a bunch of fucking ones here. That's a... Ethan Van Sciver and Nick Rekieta are very similar in their ego. They are wings of the same bird. That's another good one. Where the hell is Ethan Van Sciver? Let's check up on Ethan Van Sciver, alright? Good friend, Ethan Van Sciver. What's Ethan Van Sciver saying about this entire situation? Only thing I know about Ethan Van Sciver personally is that he bitches about Flash a lot and Eric July. So let's see what he's done. Any stuff about Nick Rekieta? Nothing about Rekieta. Nothing about Rekieta. Last stream 20 hours ago. Trash cast. I don't know what this is about. And I'm not really big on the whole Ethan Van Sciver thing. I know he's tried to Balldo guard here and there, you know. But nothing, apparently. Ethan Van Sciver, radio silent. Viva Frey, radio silent. Robert Barnes, radio silent. Camelot, radio silent. Doesn't seem like Melanie Mack is saying anything either. It's like, where did you guys all go? Where are you guys? We need you for the harvest. Where the fuck are you? We need you guys to say something. We need the cope. We need the cope. We need the nose to fire up a stream right now. God, I really want a nose stream. EBS is a lying piece of shit. Also, I'm crushing him in court, says Pocket Jacks Comics. Interesting. Ethan Van Sciver doesn't work on his books. He takes hundreds of thousands of dollars from his viewers for books, and they are on average 3 to 4 years out. Yikes. That sounds like... Well, that doesn't sound like a very good deal at all. I don't know what's going on with this Ethan Van Sciver guy, man. No. All I know about Ethan is he's a Balldo guard. He just doesn't like Eric July or Yellow Flash. Interesting. Gotta get caught up, you know. He seems like an interesting guy, man. Seems like an interesting guy. Let's see. Let's continue. Got 4 minutes left on the Rekieta segment for the Frank's motion.
Crazy fucking shit. Like, immediately when his first day back, I'm thinking, holy fuck. I can't even believe it. Can't even believe it. That's the avenue you want to go. Like, it's just... I don't even know. I guess his kid testing positive for cocaine is, like, the worst thing, and people would never forgive him for that, but it's like... I think there was definitely an opportunity after the arrest for him to try and make amends and be a good Christian dad again. And for whatever fucking reason, I'm sorry, there's no fucking way that April Imholte is that good at anything that it's worth it. She either has like a mountain of dirt on this guy that would make your fucking skin crawl, or he's just like actually brain damaged. The holes have like gone from end to end. You could take one of those little fuzzy like metal bendy straw things, pipe cleaner. You could take a pipe cleaner and weasel that through his brain without ever hitting any gray matter, because there's so many fucking holes in it. That's the only thing I can come up with at this point. That's the Rekieta thing. Everything he's been working on in the past couple weeks since the omnibus hearing, since the last time I talked about him. I think it's been 3 weeks even, because I know that he came back from his 3-week hiatus to stream recently. So I want to say it's probably been 3 weeks since the omnibus, since I talked about the Kiwis going to the courthouse. And in that time, his big project, the Frank's hearing, is completely and totally eviscerated. And not only was that eviscerated, it also appears that he's really shot himself in the foot, and he missed a lot of more realistic, opportunistic ways to mitigate damage and posture the case in his favor by only raising the Frank's hearing at the omnibus, expecting that he would just get a second omnibus hearing because he's Nick Rekieta and he's special. There you go. That's the Rekieta update. Balldo Ham, you are dismissed to slink back away to your cracked in with your 2 hamster wives.
What the fuck?
Balldo Peggins for 5 says, "Can we get a Kiwifarms law couch graphic for you when you discuss lawsuits and other related legal stuff?" Oh, Rekieta said something about how when the Frank's hearing is over, the Kiwifarms people on the couch will not look so smart or whatever the fuck. I guess a news ham, like an attorney ham, and like a nice big comfy couch would suffice for that. I have so many fucking hamsters, bro. I have like an entire pet store of hamsters on my folder now. Stalker Child Enjoy Prison for 5 says, YouTube link, this is what Rekieta heard when he opened up the farms today. Okay, I do not show videos for less, but if it's like a 5-second clip, I'll play the audio.
Denied.
Yeah, probably. Probably heard that from his attorney.
Denied.
Stalker Child Enjoy Prison for 2 says, guess that fart joke ain't so funny, is it now, Nick? The Ralph curse strikes again. Dude, if only he hadn't made fun of Ralph's fart, he would be in such a better place right now. He Deedly for 1 says, I think it's hilarious that you talk about law more than Balldo these days, well, comprehensively at least. I try my best. I'm not a lawyer, though. I probably shouldn't, to be quite honest with you. I probably shouldn't try to sound like I know what I'm talking about as much as I do. Worldwide Web Wizard for 1 says, aren't there any laws about foreigners meddling in court cases, or do you think Rackets doesn't want to acknowledge COG? I mean, all COG did is re-upload it. He's not involved in the case. He simply provided evidence. And anybody can provide evidence. COG isn't active in the case in any way. He just so happens to be involved tangentially. Formless Wonder for 1 says, I listened to some of the other Lawtubers commenting on this Rekieta news, and it was nowhere near as succinct and enlightening as yours, especially the wrinkle about releasing the footage. Well, they don't have the perspective that I do, and the laser-tight focus that I do.
On the topic of Lawtube, that's going to be the next segment, actually. We want to see their perspective as well. I think we got Josh's out of the way, although there's still like the April thing, I think, and that came out, and that's like relatively short. So maybe we'll do oh wait, actually, hold on a second. Okay, I gotta pull a Sean real quick and retract something too, honorably. Because we're not pieces of shit. Well, I am kind of. I'll never I am, but still, like, yeah. Well, apparently we do have somebody that addressed Nick, and it's fucking Ethan Van Sciver. Okay, Ethan Van Sciver did kind of address Nick. So we actually do have this clip. Nick Rekieta's interesting life and staying out of prison. And this came out on September 25th. Okay, so he did. Awesome. All right, we do have a Balldo soldier that spoke out. Okay, I'm excited for this chat. All right, we got three more. We got 3 more things to cover. We're gonna go over EVS, going over this. Let's see what he has to say. All right, Balldo's bravest soldier. Then we got we're gonna finish up with this April imholte discovery request. We're gonna get a TLDR on that. Okay. And then we'll get the Lawtube, the Rekieta's Frank Motion denied segment. So that's where we're gonna do. I'm going to go ahead get another little break. Okay, we're gonna get another little break in, and then we're gonna come with me. If you just came in, do hit the like and share it. It's free. Everybody loves free shit. We got some time left to go because apparently. Found out just now that we do have a soldier stepping up to the plate for the Balldo guards. Unless he just completely does a 180 and just stops wanting to fuck with Nick altogether. We got the amazing, illustrious, always on time with his comics, Ethan Van Sciver. Got Ethan Van Sciver, chat. We're going to go and look and what he had to say here because there's a member of his channel for 5 months decided to ask him about the Nick Rekieta situation. So let me just put my totally real VTuber avatar right here on the right corner of my screen. That is definitely a VTuber right there. It's definitely not a PNG. Okay. So let's see this. Okay. I really do. I am interested. All right. Everybody else that has supported Nick, it's kind of been quiet. Kumalot, Radio Silence, again, Barnes, Robert Barnes. I don't know why that's such a meme. Robert Barnes. Robert Barnes, Via Frey, like, Melanie Mack hasn't said shit either. But like, let's see here. So this individual, congrats to your friend Nick Rekieta for losing his motion to suppress. Okay. Congrats to your friend Nick Rekieta for losing his motion to suppress evidence from a supposed illegal warrant. The only option left is to plead guilty. So let's see what Ethan Van Sciver has to say about this.
Kyle Brunel says, congrats on your friend Nick Rekieta for losing his motion to suppress evidence. I was talking to Andrew about this. Like, I was talking to Andrew about, like, how Nick Rekieta is going to stay out of prison. I said, you don't understand. Like, it's really bad. His only hope for staying out of prison, like, think about, like, everything that they basically accused him of is pretty much like, you know, well, you had 28 ounces of cocaine, you had guns, and you can't have guns and cocaine near kids like that. You know, that's some kind of like amplifier to charges. I don't know if it should.
You know what the really sad part is? I haven't found this clip because, you know, I suck or whatever, but I will find it, chat. There is this actual clip. I got part of it, but I didn't get the full thing, but it is this entire little mini segment Nick did where he's basically telling you,
if you're gonna do drugs, you should do it in a safe location where it's legal.
So he's like, dude, this guy doesn't even take his own advice. What the fuck was he doing, dude? Like, what the fuck? This came from Locals too, I believe. Yeah, like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, he doesn't take his own fucking advice. Projecting and never takes his advice. Worst fucking combination ever.
Should be or shouldn't be, I don't know. You know, you're in this weird polycule and all. It's all true. Nick's whole thing was just in order to push back and win the case, he had to prove that the police didn't have probable cause or the warrant was obtained illegally against his constitutional rights. And it just seems like, you know, when I think from what I understand, the priest or somebody like in his church is the one who alerted authorities to what he was.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, if I remember correctly, and again, anybody in chat, if you know, like, correct me if I'm off base here, but if I remember correctly, it was not only the people in their church, but also Kayla's, and that's Lady Rackets' sister as well. So it wasn't even just people within the church, but also people within Nick's own family, if I remember correctly. So I mean, there's that, but that by Nick got twisted into the government is against me for some reason. So again, correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but I do remember that being the case.
Seeing, I don't know. I just feel like maybe that's not going to work. I still like, I understand, you know, a lot of Nick's friends, people who pretended to be Nick's friends, you know, told him to fuck off, called him a junkie, you know, all these things.
Okay, bud.
I can call Nick a junkie if I want to and still be his friend. I can make fun of Nick. I can kind of do this.
Well, I mean, let's take a little trip back down memory lane, chat. You guys remember Ethan Van Sciver, Mr. Big Brain Takeover here, was blaming the kids at one point. So, you know, that's a thing. If you're ever wondering, well, Ethan Van Sciver, how could you call someone a junkie? How could you want to be friends with a junkie? Well, it's because Ethan Van Sciver's kind of, just a little, just a tad, immoral on that. Literally blamed the kids, was saying how, like, this is good for the kids. You know, the kids not having access to any food, being deprived of food, you know, having to fend for themselves, right? What was it? The oldest kid was like about 16, right? I believe it was the oldest. Nick's oldest is like 16, 18 maybe, most. And they would have to essentially do all the housework. I think, like, all this shit, like the laundry, the food, because they got siblings too, and they're much younger than the oldest, right? Because the oldest isn't even 20 or anything, right? They're not even like a young adult, anything of that sort. So it's like, this is Mr. Ethan Van Sciver here, who originally blamed Rekieta's kids in order to defend Nick Rekieta. So again, The way he makes it sound is like, oh, these guys have no morals. They backstab Nick. No, no, that's not what happened at all. I do understand why you would look at it like that, because your perspective on things it's just a little tad questionable, right? Just a little bit, chat. Just a little bit. But let this king of Cyberfrog go off. Let the king go. All right, it's king right here.
Nick's whole lifestyle, his choices, and still be his friend. I mean, he's always been nice to me.
His kid tested positive for cocaine, Ethan. What the fuck are you saying? He's Mr. No Optics right here, like this. His kid tested positive for cocaine. He had 25 grams in his fucking house, etc., etc. I feel like this kind of like information is lost on people like Ethan Van Sciver, and they either just don't give a shit or they pretend they do not see. My friend, what the fuck? Jesus.
And that's it. Like, I don't, cocaine. All right, it's not something I would do because I don't have any. Guns, no, guns are cool. Having all that stuff around kids, not supposedly, neglecting your kids. See, that's what's gonna happen when you're in a polycule with cocaine. That's
okay. So it's first starts off as supposedly, then it's like, it's gonna happen, bro. Dude, the point is it shouldn't happen, man. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, I don't know. It's gonna happen, bro. Stop. Pause. Oh, man. With friends like these, you wonder why Nick turned out so, the way he is, right? I guess. He only keeps the best company, clearly.
It's inevitable.
It is.
All these things are bad. He's going to be punished for it, but yeah, okay. So,
he's gonna be punished, but not by his friend. He's just gonna enable the shit out of this guy. He's okay in my book, pal. Like, Jesus, Ethan, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, what is this? Like, keep in mind, I've come in with like an unbiased perspective on most, if not all, these characters, right? Including Ethan Van Sciver, and this guy just seems like a fucking piece of shit, right? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, Ethan, you're fucking retarded, dog. What the fuck is going on? What?
He lost his motion to suppress evidence from a supposed illegal warrant. Only option left is to plead guilty. That's huge. I gotta watch some videos. I've been so busy. I haven't paid attention. I haven't watched any Nick Rekieta videos or videos about Nick Rekieta and what he's going through.
Wait, like, if you haven't, then how are you so sure that people have snaked them? How are you so sure that he didn't snake them? Like, what? I've seen none of this coverage, but I know for a fact people snake Nick. Nick would never snake anyone. What? What the fuck? I'm sorry, that was my best JonTron impression. What the fuck?
But I was trying to explain this to Andrea. Like, I'm just like, I like Nick Rekieta. Like, everybody used to. I think people like Nick Rekieta. He's really charming. He's charismatic. He's fun to watch. I never hung out with him ever, so I don't know what that's like.
He's charming, charismatic, and fun to watch. Are you talking about how he's jacking off on stream? Like, is that fun, charismatic, and fun to watch? Is that entertainment for you, Ethan Van Sciver? Is that what you're talking about? Or maybe it's the fucking stream where Nick was cross-dressing. Maybe that's more up your alley. I don't know, bro. He's very charming and charismatic when he's jacking off on stream while he's coked out of his mind. Dude, come on. This is so... this is just... Oh, God. Bad. This is not good at all.
Just talking about, hanging out with him on YouTube. He's fun to sort of have on YouTube. I don't know what his personal life, what that's like. Just what I'm hearing, the same way you guys are. Yeah, man. So there's going to be a movie about it or something. By the way, and just watch it. Like, if there is a Nick Rekieta movie, dude.
What?
Go watch it. Like, that's a movie.
Dog, this guy thinks Nick is Vince McMahon or something.
It'll be a porno, says Pecan. You gotta be kidding. Yes, it will. I don't know how it could be anything else.
Okay.
I mean, if there's
a Nick Rekieta porno, I'm sure fucking Ethan is thrilled for that. He's got his he's got his lotion and everything. Cyber frog lotion, the best lotion around.
movie. Like, don't wait for Yellow Flash to give you the Pakistani
Here we go.
fucking.
There we go. Here comes Flash. Just like Nick can't stop mentioning fucking Kiwifarms. Here comes Yellow Flash again. Ethan Van Skyver has got to mention Yellow Flash, of course.
Handheld cam bootleg, like a DVD of it that you could get in Times Square. Like, don't get that shit. Like, go to the movies and watch it. You know, just remember that you guys know Nick Rekieta. We used to stream with him. I wish him the best. I hope he's innocent. I wish him a million years of freedom. I want him out of jail. I do. I don't want him to go to jail. Do I? Let me think about it. No,
Do I?
I don't want him to go to jail.
Wait, let me think about that for a second.
I mean, I do because I like it'd be interesting, but I like it'd be a good story if he went to jail, if he went to prison.
Jesus Christ.
But then I think about my friend. I don't want him to go to prison at all. You know?
Dude, who is this? Why have I never seen this person before? What a fucking idiot.
I don't want that to happen. It's the same thing like with Vito versus Riley. Do I really want Riley to come over to Vito's house and pour pig's blood all over his Hyundai Sonata and get pig's blood into the cracks of his car and inside the car? No, not really. I don't really, but I do in a way because I want to hear about what would happen if like that did happen. Don't you? Nick Rekieta, I kind of do because it'd be a good story. Like it should conclude. Like his Nick Rekieta's life has become so epic and so like fascinating.
Epic is not the word you want to use for this. This is more like a fucking trash fire, man.
Like who would possibly imagine that a YouTube lawyer, his life could be more interesting than like fucking Mick Jagger's?
It's not even interesting. What are you talking about? What? It's not. That's fucking sad. It's not interesting. It's fucking sad. Jesus Christ.
Life. Nick Rekieta's life is insanely interesting. The judge that ruled on Nick's motion is named Judge Stephen J. Wenzel. The judge signed the ruling SJW. Lol. No way. Did he actually sign it SJW? Was that true? Did he know what he was doing? Or was that just like a funny accident?
Amazing. well, that was Ethan Van Sky, but how do you think he did, chat? How do you think he did? Did he do good? Did he did the Balldo, man? Good? Give me a 1 if you think he did good for the Balldo. Give me 2 if that was just subpar. Okay? Very subpar. Let's see. I think that's like the EBS thing. Let's see, what is this? If Nick gets sentenced to 25 years, he'll be out before EBS finishes his comics. Okay, I'm starting to think there's some like legitimacy to the comic book thing. This dude is a total snooze fest. Nick Rekieta is my friend. I don't know what his... Okay, beautiful Pepsi, man. Good comment. Okay, let's see. Okay, I want to get like this is 5-minute segment, the April imholte segment, because everybody wants a little update on April, I think. April, the mistress of Nick Rekieta. She's a queen in her own right. Okay, we got a bunch of 2s. Okay, it was not good. Okay, the reception was not good. Okay, I got it. No, 2. EBS sucks. I gotcha. Okay. Why does the April imholte? Okay, let's do April imholte real quick. Let's see. Let's do this.
Small update. This paperwork raised some questions, and I will answer them. April imholte has received in her criminal case for drug possession a discovery disclosure. And I should clarify, after talking to an attorney, discovery disclosure and evidence are different. So when you are a prosecuting attorney and you're going, or even a defense, and you're going to submit things into discovery, you basically have to itemize every single thing that you intend to bring to discovery. Everything. So you have to cast a pretty broad net. You have to give a heads up, like, hey, in the next year throughout discovery, we are going to ask for all of this. And you have to be really, 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 really good about making sure you ask for everything that could possibly be relevant, because unless there is a major discovery mid-case, you can't amend your discovery findings, because you're letting the opposition party know what they're going to have to prepare to give you. So it would be really unfair if the government or, you know, the civil person suing you could just keep saying like, hey, I want this too, and I want this too, and I want this too. It's all up front. These are all the things that we're going to need from you, so make sure you get them ready during this process. And one of the things that they mentioned in April's case with her drug possession is the body cam footage. I don't know if I'll be able to find this as well, but they basically have this checklist, and the police go through and they'll add a checklist for everything. Video recordings for body cam footage. Yeah, it's just a checklist. So they're saying we're probably going to add, or we're reserving the right to bring the body cam footage into evidence later. Not necessarily that it is into evidence, but it's a possibility. Also, people were questioning, they didn't realize that April Imholte had a criminal history. And I was told by a former prosecuting attorney that when you are charging somebody, because this is just like a checklist, defendant's criminal history is basically always checked because there's no harm of it. And you could say like, well, you're wrong to ask that unless you have a reason to. But it's possible for the prosecuting attorney just to say, well, we're going to use the fact that she had no criminal history in our case, and you can't really dispute that. So criminal history is basically always checked, and they don't even check to see if you have criminal history first before doing it, because they can. I'll just pull it up later. So that's that. Don't get excited. What I'm trying to say, the point of this is that the body cam footage has not been entered into evidence in the April Imholte case, but it could be, which means that if you were an interested party that wanted to make sure that body cam footage never saw the light of day, you really gotta hope that April takes a plea deal at some point and doesn't force this into evidence, which she very well could do. In fact, because they've given her. They've put it on this checklist. She could ask for it. She has a right to review the evidence as the defendant in this case. So she could ask for it, and then because it's government property, she could publish it on her own. So she has full access to this body cam footage, basically unredacted whenever she wants. So if you really didn't want this body cam footage to get out, you got to be like, oh, April, you're so good. Oh, April, I'll never set you aside, my concubine. You'll always sit equal weight with my own wife. You gotta make sure she stays happy, bro. You got you by the balls, bro. Better make sure you pay that defense. Better sell that house. Better keep giving her what she wants. You know, it's fall, man. You know what them bitches like? Bitches like shopping. Bitches like purses. Oh, you got the pumpkin spice lattes, like $10 cup. And you got that fall clothing. You got the sweaters. You got the cute kitsch sweatshirts and shit. Bitches be shopping, man. Better keep her happy. Better make sure she got the pumpkin spice everything.
Better treat April Imholte like a queen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, don't skimp. Pumpkin spice the fucking sweaters too. She wants to smell good. Get the pumpkin spice fragrance. Oh, the pumpkin spice. Oh, April, I'll never hurt you. I'm definitely not trying to placate you until all the criminal issues are resolved, so I can dispose of you in any way convenient to me. Oh, such is life in Minnesota, chat. Pumpkin spice the Balldo. The cups are $20. Oh man, it's all that pumpkin spice inflation. You know, pumpkin spice is not as cheap as it used to be. You gotta spend extra.
Okay, Belinda, thank you for gifting 5 more hats. Ivana, thank you for putting on a hat. Appreciate you. It looks like the Balldo Ranch is under siege, okay? I really like Josh's what is it? His French. Okay, he's clearly not a Frenchman like me, but good Frenchness nonetheless, and a decent Frenchness. But as he like alluded to in this, I do kind of believe that. Like, I do believe that Nick is only keeping April around at the moment just because it's beneficial to him. And if he did get rid of April at this point in time, it probably would not be beneficial to him, and it would probably be very bad. It would probably blow up on his face, kind of like the Frank's motion thing, right? Or whatever, and he would be denied, and only in like the April case it'd be, I don't know, I think it'd be a little worse because it seems like April does have some things on Nick, okay? What it can be, who knows? But it's time for the Lawtube segment, okay? And this is from the Laid Back Law Show, okay? Laid Back Law Show. And this has Nate the Lawyer, Uncivil Law, and a few faces that I don't recognize because I don't do Lawtube. But they're discussing Nick Rekieta's Frank motion denied. I'm going to go ahead and see this a little bit. Chat. So let's play this.
Apparently there's been a development with the Nick Rekieta case. And I don't want to go into graphic detail or anything else, but Kurt, Nate, I think you guys both covered it. I don't know if you have, Dave. What's going on with Nick Rekieta, his case, and what's the status?
Yeah, long story short, okay, Nick Rekieta was arrested and charged with possession of cocaine. Most recently, he filed an omnibus to have his case dismissed on the basis that the warrant was invalid.
What's an omnibus?
It's a all-purpose motion.
Okay.
So it's a motion for all purposes. So it's multiple different things. Anyway, so he filed a motion to dismiss, essentially, on the basis that the cop lied and asked for what's called a Frank's hearing to determine that. And the judge determined
did the cop lie about?
That he didn't actually, according to Nick, that the cop didn't actually view the original video because he viewed it somewhere else and it had a watermark on it, and that makes it different.
Well, there's also 4 seconds difference too in the length of the video.
No, there wasn't. It wasn't. It was exactly the same.
Was it?
Yeah, it was exactly the same.
Well, sometimes when they wrote it, they didn't quote the full number because they just said 4 hours and 4 minutes instead of the additional. So depending on how they wrote it, but it was the same video. It doesn't matter.
I don't know if like Nick was ever really actually invited on these panels and shit. Like the way I see it is like they're kind of like they're looking at this and they're like like thinking, they must be thinking like Nick is like this is fucking insane. Although I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't speak too quick, chat. Maybe they give Rekieta a little bit of a break on this, but it does sound a little ridiculous, and I don't think anybody's impressed by Rekieta's decisions. I don't know. We'll see. This is my first time actually seeing Lawtube intently. Okay, let's see what continues on.
So, and that's exactly what the judge says. It was the same video, didn't matter. And then the judge also said that he failed to preserve the issue of the sufficiency of the probable cause, and that issue is gone. So there's no more basis to oppose the warrant. So that's gone, which means that we're going to trial. And it also means he's going to get convicted because, as I've said before, this is a simple possession case. It's a 2-witness case. Witness number 1 is the cop. Hey, cop, did you go there? I surely did. What'd you find? I found some drugs. Did you wear a body cam? Yep, I did. Let's roll that footage. Is this you with your hand with the drugs in your hand? Surely is. Thanks, cop. No further questions. Second witness, the lab tech. Hey, lab tech, did you test the stuff? I sure did. What was it? Drugs. Great. No further questions. Right? And
I love how he's just like speed running this shit. It's like, it's not like babbling like Nick. It's not rambling. It's not like, he's not fucking in a alcoholic state, right? He's not intoxicated. He's not like a fucking mess. He's just kind of like shooting points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's getting right to business and shit, and he's doing it coherently. Fucking love it. If it was Nick, he's like rambling, talking about fucking this or that, and then he lose. It's like, goddamn. Jesus.
Anything beyond that is bonus. And so since they have no basis to, like, you know, we're going to trial. So it's the end of the game. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, he
So-
needs to take a plea. Like I said from the beginning. Though I will say this. I don't fault him for filing a motion. Everyone wants to tease him about filing a motion, or the motion was dumb and the judge was mocking him for filing such a thing. As a criminal defense attorney, what you do is you take the case and you start poking as many holes as you can into it and see where those holes lead. And if they don't lead anywhere, then you start talking plea. But you at least got to try to poke some holes so that you can get your client the best deal possible.
Yeah, because if you don't make the argument, it's automatically going to be a no, right? So you have to at least make, as long as it's not frivolous. And I don't think it was borderline. It was borderline. We were getting close to being frivolous, but it wasn't frivolous. But I think
the video thing was borderline frivolous. That I thought was really ridiculous.
Yes, because he was saying the only difference with the video was the watermark. So just so everybody understands, with a Frank's hearing, you have to show that if the cop lied, it was material. It would have changed the outcome of the warrant. The judge would have said, "I'm not going to issue that search warrant because this was so important to whether."
Man, like as you. God, I mean, it feels like I'm actually learning something, chat. Like with Nick, okay, to be fair, with Nick, it feels like you learn what not to do. With this, I was like, oh, I'm getting the knowledge, pal. All right, you're talking and I'm listening and I'm getting it, bro. I'm getting it. And again, they don't waste any fucking time. They just straight up like 1, 2, 3. Here are your points. You got it down. Rekieta. Oh, Kiwifarms, you know, it's good. It's refreshing. I like it. I really dig it. And then like hearing this back and like thinking, you know, what the fuck, Nick? Like this actually really sounds like a very, very desperate play by Nick. Like I can't fucking believe his back was so against the wall he had to be reduced to this. That's just fucking pathetic, Nick. Like what the fuck happened? Like really? The watermark, chat.
You don't understand. You don't understand, Judge. The water.
Nick, come on, man. Jesus Christ.
Whether to earn a issue or not. So Nick's argument essentially was that his original video and the other video that the cop watched were different, and the only difference was that there was a watermark on the video the cop used, and that watermark materially changed the video, but it didn't. It was you know how YouTube puts a little watermark on the bottom right hand side of the video. That's what it is. Matter of fact, here is Rekieta. And now somebody put this together, which I think is hilarious. They put together literally a video of Nick arguing against Nick, because there was a video Nick did about a Frank's hearing about, you know, how do you do a Frank's hearing?
God.
And then there was a video of Nick actually arguing about his issue with the Frank's.
I'm so fucking glad I clicked on this video.
Hearing. So someone put it together, and it essentially explains the whole Frank's hearing issue. So here it is. I'll play it. But it shows you, and it also shows you one other thing too. Why it's dangerous for you to play lawyer in your own case, because sometimes you lose that objectivity of understanding, like, you know, what's going on. But this is Rekieta versus Rekieta, Frank's hearing.
What is the difference between the videos? Well, one says,
you know, again, before I let this play, I think it's like, oh, fuck, man. This must be so fucking embarrassing, dude. It's like five professionals or somebody that are good in their craft and shit are just looking at this guy who's supposed to equally be as good in the craft, and they're just like, what the fuck? Like, okay. Like, they're gonna watch this, and I'm sure it's gonna be like a thing where Nick is contradicting himself or lying, and it's like, yeah, this guy is just a fucking goof. He's like he must be, like, Nick Rekieta must be the biggest goof on Lawtube at this point, bro. I know, like, Nick was trying to take shots at everybody in Lawtube and seeing the, you know, et cetera and shit, but damn, man, you're like the equivalent of the fucking, you know that meme where, like, the person is pissing themselves and everybody is laughing at them, and the person that pissed themselves is just like, haha, rent-free? Yeah, that's fucking Nick in this one. Dude, come on. This is so fucking embarrassing. Jesus Christ. Oh. Whatever. Let's just play this. This is funny.
backwards internet on it. There's the difference. That's the only difference that matters, because it's different. Objection! So Frank's challenge is just a challenge to any of those statements. It says they're a lie and says that lie is material. Now, if they make some misrepresentation that has nothing to do with issuing the search warrant, then oh well. Hold it! That's not the question. The question is, why didn't the cop just not lie? So if you're stuck in the analysis of
Dude, whoever made this edit, by the way, you're a fucking genius. Much respect.
arguing over the quality of evidence, you're way in the wrong part of the trial. Objection! The idea is that alone, like they lied once, is not enough to overturn a warrant. They have to lie in material ways that are to the issuance of the warrant. And that's what Frank's challenge is for. Hold it! Well, one says backwards internet on it. There's the difference. Objection! But did it, if they change that, if they get rid of that line, does a search warrant still issue? If so, Objection!
Oh my god. Dude, who made this edit, bro? That's fucking great. This thing is great. What the fuck? Who made this? That's awesome, bro. Jesus Christ. Who made this shit? It's so fucking good.
You're not in the right spot, and I'm sorry that practicing lawyers have misled you into the wrong analysis by not being competent at what they talk about. But they have.
There's the arrogance.
They have misled you. They have let you down. They have done so to extract money from you.
Yeah? Yeah, Nick? Remember, we were talking about Nick is the ultimate projector here. He really does project a lot onto other people, doesn't he?
Is that the Ace Attorney game sound effects?
Yeah, but Nick was right. It had to be material, and it wasn't material.
Yeah.
So it said it just wasn't material. Well, the Nick who was saying that it had to be material was right.
Which Nick won?
Yeah, exactly. he can't appeal as a matter of rights because it's not interlocutory automatically. He can ask for permission, but he won't get it because there's no novel issues here, and the Court of Appeals isn't going to take it up at this time. So the only way to appeal it is to get convicted and then appeal it then, and you'll still lose because the judge was right.
Even though we focused on a Frank's issue, there was also a firearms issue. So when the cops did the search, they found the coquina, and then they found some firearms. But the thing that made the firearms illegal was the coquina. So they found the cocaine, field tested it, tested positive for cocaine. So then they would seize the firearms under the probable cause that there was illegal drugs, because you can't have illegal drugs and firearms.
So the drugs made the firearms illegal. So if they walked in, there was no drugs, and there was a gun laying on a table, that would be irrelevant. It's just a gun.
Correct. They wouldn't be able to see.
My original prediction was this is going to result in a plea where he does probation only, no jail time. The firearm charge is going to get dismissed, but he's going to have to surrender the firearms, and then he won't have the restriction going forward. That's my prediction. That was my original prediction, and that's what I think is still on the table.
Well, he tried to get the firearm tossed, but the judge, obviously, it came just down to the plain view exception. Exactly what it was like. Well, they were searching for drugs. When you're searching for drugs, you can essentially search anywhere, and they found the guns, and then so so the judge said it was a plain view exception. So the guns do come in, so the gun charge is still live, and then the child endangerment charge is obviously still good because you got drugs, you got guns, you got children. It just wraps it all up. So you get the child endangerment charge. So
can he plea out of a felony? Because that would mean he couldn't vote. He would lose his gun.
He can plea out of the felony and have those dismissed. The child endangerment is probably not going to go away, but it's going to get wrapped up into the same probationary period. And they have the other child protective proceedings and all that. That'll probably be used as sort of an advisory guide with regard to the probation on the criminal thing.
And let's not forget, though, too, they also found other substances there that they seemingly haven't charged them for, like the ketamine, for instance. So, they still have that ace up their sleeve if they really want to.
Is ketamine illegal or not?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
So no Bruin challenge?
Jesus.
No Bruin challenge.
Surely that one's pending somewhere in some circuit.
And you guys don't understand. Nick's just a rock star, man. Let him do his cocaine, ketamine, and whatever the fuck else. Jesus Christ. Look, if I'm to put myself in their position for a second, if I'm like a professional lawyer and shit, and Nick is like my colleague or something or whatever the equivalent would be on YouTube, dude, I'd be so fucking embarrassed. I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I can't believe this guy is doing this shit. I have like no words. I feel bad for them. Sunny Squad for life. That's right, Sanny. That's right. Frank's Motion Vid is the third world aristocrat on YouTube.
Shit that you fucking say.
Frank's Motion Vid is from Third World
Okay, thank
Aristocrat
you.
on YT.
Thank you, appreciate that. Okay. Gotta have to get a look after. Thank you, appreciate that. So his grandfather, which the trust comes from, donates a huge amount of money to the Catholic hospital in Texas and Louisiana. That's why those hospitals are called Christos. The only escape Nick is temporary. His ego will lead him drag all of this as long as to face the consequences as far as possible in time in the future. I see him trying to appeal and be a nuisance for his own case at every step of the way. You know, this might be like something that gets me to go to hell again, but like, God, I hope he does. I really do hope that he just continues to be the epic trash fire trash can that we all know and love for Friday night show. This is great. It's fucking great. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, in my opinion. But yeah, it just kind of seems like he's the fucking laughingstock right now, man. It's fucking, it's a range of emotions coming here.
Bruin challenge.
So the Bruin is the U.S. Supreme Court case that came down a couple years ago that threw the whole Second Amendment jurisprudence into chaos because they basically said that any restriction on possessing a firearm has to be well grounded in established tradition and history and stuff like that. Basically, an originalist approach to firearm restriction. And so since then, there have been all kinds of challenges raised to various firearm restrictions, waiting periods, age limits, felons in possession, having a no contact order, like any basis for restricting someone's gun ownership has come under challenge. So making a gun illegal because drugs are present, just, it's an obvious Bruin challenge. I just don't know if he's raising it.
Well, it's a Hunter Biden situation too. It doesn't Nick share the same.
Yeah, Hunter Biden. Yeah. It's wild because to see Hunter Biden, who's a Democrat, use the NRAs, like that's the NRA's thing. Like, yes, you should, because what caught Hunter Biden is that on the form he filled out, it asked, were you using drugs? And he puts no. And the NRA has said from jump that should be illegal. You should, even if you say yes or no, that should be irrelevant. You can't, they can't on a question remove your right to own a firearm. So that's essentially what Hunter Biden said, which I do think. I'm again, people will call me a gun nut. I'm more on the NRA side with that because I
came too.
That's right. But I think if you have actually cocaine in your home, then I think you're talking about maybe something.
Yeah, but a question on that, Nate, and I don't want to go too far, but it's like, okay, so if you have cocaine in the house, boom, it's automatically a felony, but you could be drunk out of your everlasting mind, cross-eyed, peeing yourself, and carrying the gun around your house, no worries, no problem. It does seem a little odd.
I think the distinction that maybe you're missing here is that you are in possession of a firearm in the commission of a crime.
Of a felony, yeah.
Right? So you're committing a crime or a felony by being in possession of these illegal drugs. That's the issue. So, or any crime that you're committing, if you're in possession of a firearm while you're committing a crime. That's sort of the
I know, but I feel like it's stretching a little bit far because it's obvious that if you're robbing a bank and you have a gun, that very much they compound each other. But a possession charge where you have a gun present at your house, I don't know. I understand that's what they're saying.
It's not aiding the commission of the crime in any way. It's they're unrelated things.
Exactly.
If the gun were aiding the commission of the crime, we'd be talking about first degree because that would elevate it. So that'd be a whole nother thing. But I'll tell you what, if it winds up being Hunter Biden who goes to the U.S. Supreme Court and gets us further gun rights, hey, man, I'm here for it.
Well, chat, how's Lawtube's take on the entire situation? I can't say that I disagree with them. So I would not disagree with professionals, and they clearly are professionals. Nick Rekieta, not a professional, and it's kind of like, again, kind of embarrassing how, like, really, it does really look like that meme, right? It looks like he's just the butt of the joke and shit, which, again, like, I have to say, couldn't have happened to really a nicer guy. All right. But I think, chat, I think that's gonna wrap up the stream because we're about 3 hours in. Okay, and we've pretty much gone over, I believe, every segment as of now, and I think you get it, right? It's kind of over, Balldo bros. Okay, and according to you guys, all 800 of you that took this poll right here, let's see. Apparently, you think Nick Rekieta is the worst lawyer in Lawtube. I'd say I agree with you guys. It's pretty bad for him. It is one of those downfalls. I'm not going to say like Ethan Van Sciver said that somebody should make a fucking, somebody should make a movie on, it's like, no, not really, but maybe, like a documentary of sorts on YouTube, like a short YouTube documentary put together. Yeah, probably, definitely. Starting from like all the way back, even before Weeb Wars. I think if anybody can get that done, it would be an interesting preserving history sort of thing, right? Because, I mean, while it is sad, it's somewhat enraging as well, depending on how you're feeling. It is also, and I'll agree with Ethan a little bit on this, it is slightly fascinating how one person could be at the top and just completely ruin the entire thing with seemingly no possibility of ever trying to get back to the pinnacle that they were once at. I mean, that's what I will agree. And shout out to all of you that made the stream. We hit the 300 like mark. Let's fucking go. Belinda, you got your wish. All right. And that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. I don't believe there will be a Friday show. I mean, a Saturday show, my mistake, tomorrow. But we will definitely have a Friday show next week, as well as having just occasional uploads that I make, depending on the subject, right? Depending on what. I got an entire Rekieta Law playlist for those of you, if you guys want to be caught up with how it all started way back when. The playlist is there. You can go ahead and watch that, and we even cover everything pretty much up to this date. So, again, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm going to get ready to head out, guys. Stay safe, all of you, and I mean that. And remember, do not be a rackets, okay? And I'm going to close this off with the Senny Squad National Anthem. Have a good rest of your night, chat. Have a good rest of your night, Ethan Van Sciver. I don't know if you're Team Rekieta. I don't know if you're not Team Rekieta. But I know you need to stop thinking about Yellow Flash so much, okay? All right, good night, everybody. Good night.
And that is what I am wondering.